Check. Yep.
Match number 4 of the U.S. Premier League Phase 2 on in earnest here and underway. Washington Hawks taking on the New York Gothams. The news is that Washington Hawks have won the toss and they've elected to take first strike. The batters out in the middle, Sarnam Patel and Karanjit Singh. And of course, you know your umpires. They are there, Sundaresh Iyer and Irfan Saeed, or Saeed Irfan Atullah. And so there the umpires out in the middle. The bowler getting ready to set up, who looks to be Dhruvish Mehdi. So he looks like he'll start the attack here for the New York Gothams. So match number 4, we've seen three quality games played so far. So match number 4 expects to be no different. And so it's my opportunity to welcome in Lenny Achaibar. Lenny, welcome to match number 4.
Thanks, Carl. So the team's captained by Jason Greaves, who's out in the middle, trying to make sure everything is all set. And Bazid Siddiqui, the captain of the Washington Hawks. So, as Carl mentioned, Karanjit Singh will be the man on strike. Sarnam Patel is at the other end. And it appears Dhruvish Mehdi has been given the ball, so things are on the way. There you go, with your commentators here, Carl Bennett, alongside yours truly. And we're in for the long haul here, Carl.
Yes,
couple of double headers, a long series ahead of us. Exciting matches.
160 overs of cricket over these past 2 days. Well, after this match, it will be 160. 80 overs yesterday. Back for 80 overs today.
So a good start here from Mehdi. A dot ball keeping fractionally low. We've seen a couple of those in the latter part of the day.
And then towards the back end of yesterday as well, we saw a few deliveries that sort of had the uneven bounce as the Hawks are up and running. And Karanjit is off the mark. So we've seen what was effectively a very true surface for the better part of yesterday and even for the majority of today. And then at times, though, we've seen some uneven bounce, some balls that have kicked off the surface, pitched on a length or back of a length. And then we have also seen some deliveries that have kept fractionally low. And so batters will have to certainly factor that into their approach. No longer can it just be coming forward and swinging through the line. Batters will have to adjust their approach.
Yes, Carl, and we've also seen runs on this pitch in the last couple of days. Not too long ago, we saw 50s from Assad Fadadin and a big knock from Ranak Sharma. So it also tells you that there's runs to be scored on this ground. And one of the ways you'll probably negate ball that keeps a little bit low is to get on the front foot and try to get the ball on this volley. When you get a ball on this volley, it doesn't matter how it turns or what happens, you're reaching the ball on volley. Easier said than done.
And we've seen
Sarnam Patel comes into strike for the first time.
And we've seen batters that have been successful and they have been hitting down the ground, so hitting straight. So to your point, getting in line behind the ball and hitting straight seem to have been certainly an approach that has been very effective. We saw 2 magnificent hundreds already scored in this phase 2, both being scored yesterday, and today we've seen lower scores, but that doesn't mean that the surface has changed enough where 200 may not be in the offing for one of these teams.
So big trees in the background there. Some very dense forest to your right. So here we go is Dhruvish Mehdi. Ball punched back to the bowler from Sarnam Patel. Good start here from Dhruvish Mehdi so far.
And then as we saw the trees in the background in the previous shot, it reminds us of how picturesque it is here at SUNY Purchase, a field that not many are aware even exists in this location, but it's a beautiful cricketing facility, and you see it here. And just a place where you can kind of come and relax and watch some good cricket, and USPL has
yes,
certainly
Carl.
provided that show.
People who do canvas painting would love to get a shot of this. Speaking of shot, an attempted play here by Karen G. Doesn't go too well. And this continues to be a very tidy over here from Dhruv Ishmael. Take a look at that.
And he is down on one leg, looking to paddle the ball into the onside. Doesn't judge the bounce correctly. So swing and a miss to complete over number 1. And so after 1, it's the Hawks batting first. They're 2 for none.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com।
यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
Yash Patel has been given the ball, so he'll continue the attack. And he'll bowl to Sarnam Patel. Both batters are on 1. We're inside the power play. First 6 overs of this matchup. Again, 2 teams that are expected to vie very closely in an evenly matched contest. And so how far will either of these teams go in phase 2 is left to be seen. But in order to advance in this in phase 2, you have to get through your first round matchup here on weekend number 1, opening weekend of this phase 2. We've seen some tremendous cricket played so far.
Yes, Carl, and what we have seen so far, we've seen wins for the New Jersey Titans. We've seen wins for the Penn Cavaliers.
And for the Maryland Mavericks, probably the most impressive of all, as they posted 236 for 3 and restricted Texas Cowboys to just 192. And I say just in the context of how much they were chasing, as you see another single down the ground for Sarnam.
So this has been a very good start for the Gothams. Their bowling has really been on top. We saw a tidy over from Eddie, only conceding a couple of runs, and we've seen a good early start here from Yash Patel.
And so going back to what we've seen so far in phase 2, Len, on the opening day of phase 2, it seems to have been advantage to the batters. On day 2, it appears that it's advantage to the bowlers, as we've seen the bowlers really come to the fore here on day 2.
So Hawks have won the toss. They've elected to bat. Ball driven into the offside, can't score. This is tidy stuff again from Yash Patel. We've seen a tidy over from Dhruv Ishmael. So far things have been relatively quiet here for the Hawks.
And credits to the good work of Dhruv, Mehdi, and now Yash Patel. Full toss. Oh, gone. Caught at mid-off. A full toss. And he perishes. So the first wicket falls. It's 3 for 1. And we see it here as a ball just not timed well and straight up to Dhruv Mehdi. And so Dhruv takes a very simple catch. And that's the end of Karan Singh. He heads back to the hut for 1.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com।
यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So Yas Patel picks up the wicket of Sarnam Patel. Very simple catch in the end for Dhruvish Med. So Haidar Ali, it appears, comes to the middle. That's a good start here from the New York Gothams. Having asked to bowl first, and things have gone pretty well. Pulled into the onside, runs here for the batsman, and that has gone away for 4. So good looking shot from the left-hander, and that's 4 runs.
So here you see it, and fielder Med running across, Dhruv Med, and can't pull it back, and so Haider, in fact, Sarnam up and running, and he goes up to 6. So ball driven down the ground, and so far it's been the New York Gothams on top, and the over comes to an end. 6 runs from it. It's 8 for 1 after 2.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी. MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So we're back with the action. Sarnam Patel on the go, and this is the first maximum of this second match in the doubleheader, and it comes off the blade of Sarnam Patel.
Yeah, good strike there from Sarnam Patel.
So 14 for 1.
So big strike from Sarnam Patel. Takes the score up to 13 for 1, Carl, in the third over.
And we've seen what was sort of a bowler's, or what was advantage to the bowlers. Now control seeming to be rested back here as Sarnam Patel looks to go on the attack. So far, other than the first scoring shot of this over, Dhruv Med has come back quite well.
So he goes into the onside and 1 bounce, and that has gone away for 4. So a couple of big strikes in this over. 1-6 and 1-4 off the bat of Sarnam Patel. And the score quickly goes up to 18 for 1.
So good looking. So Sarnam goes up to 17. He's faced 10 balls so far.
Yeah, this has been a good start all of a sudden here for the Hawks. We've seen a good knock so far from Sarnam Patel. He's a classy player. He's given them a very good start, considering we saw the first 8 or 7 balls into this game, Carl. It was dominated by the Gotham. We saw tidy stuff from Dhruvish Med, the man bowling now. Oh, looking to play a very improv-looking shot. Doesn't go too well. And the ball goes through to Mukel Ayaswamy. That's the wicket keeper, top-class keeper. That completes 3, and after 3 it's 18 for 1.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है, इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So we're back with the cricket, Carl. It's 3 overs in the books, 18 on the board. We've seen a good knock so far from Sarnam Patel. He's a quality player. But now the action shifts to Haider Ali, who comes in at number 3 at the fall of Karanjeet.
Gets a ball down the leg side. Should be a wide. But no indication coming from the umpire. And so what the Washington Hawks going at just under 6 and over. And so we're still in the power play here as they won the toss and elected to take first strike. Ball worked into the onside. Again, this time they are able to scamper through for a single. So very slow progress here by the Washington Hawks, but it's progress nonetheless.
Yes, Carl, the Gothams being led here by Jason Greaves, top competitor. One would remember maybe 8-10 years ago, he used to be a constant fixture with the Atlantis Cricket Club out of New York in the Metropolitan League. And in fact, in those days, they used to play in the Eastern American League. Now the Atlantis outfit is with the Metropolitan League. So he gets an inside edge, running up towards the fine leg boundary. Fielder does well to keep the ball in play. It's 20 on the board.
And that's really good work. We know that the outfield here is very quick. Usually a ball running across the surface generally will get to the boundary. But good work by the fielder pulling that one back, and only a single conceded in the process.
So Haider Ali batting at number 3 so far. He's taking some time to really get going here. Short format of the game. The good thing though, Carl, when you're not that explosive player, to get a chance to bat early in a T20 innings with at least 120 balls if you come at the top of the order, available for you.
Yes, Len, and teams usually send explosive batters to get their innings up and going. Down the leg side again, and wide is the call here. As regulation, one day you might say limited overs rules in employ. Typically once the ball goes down the leg side, umpires are inclined to extend the arms, indicating that it's an unfair delivery. So
yes, Carl, we have seen from the very inception, bowling leg side has never been encouraged. Down the leg side, speaking of leg side, and helped along the way. That's a good looking shot from Haider Ali. Wrong line here.
And we've seen him attempt that shot a few times, and here he is just timing it exquisitely and just letting the pace of the ball do the work, just getting back onto it and then just turning the blade in the general direction of backward square. Picks up a boundary for the effort.
Yeah, good ball follow on that occasion. Nice to see where the ball ends up. A lot of time with the cameras. So, man responsible for that has been following all the balls throughout the course of the day. Several cameras placed around the ground. But the man who operates the ball follow. A lot of work for him, Carl.
And the cameras are indeed strategically placed. Another wide here. And so this over starting to add up. Still one ball remaining in it.
Yes, Carl. They say that they say that the men that works in the Domino's factory, the playing Domino's card, they wanted to know how much double blank that man has work to do, as against a man with 6 and 6 on the card. What do you say?
And this one will run away, perhaps. So one bounce into the boundary. So a good finish here for Hyder Ali. As we see him getting one, it's actually coming off the edge and flying towards long leg. And it goes one bounce into the boundary there to complete over number 4. 12 runs from it. It's 30 for 1.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी कुछ नहीं
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
ब्रेकफास्ट भूल गया कर लूंगा
इतनी
कर
बार
लूंगा
बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो।
3 minutes
अभी तुम्हारे ट्रीट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी and then
हाँ हाँ हाँ
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर मिक्स कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी MTR 3 minute breakfast इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट
So a new bowler being introduced here as Paran Patel has been given the ball. And so he comes in with a couple of overs remaining in the power play. Washington Hawks off to a 7.5 run per over start. Not spectacular by any means, but effective. We saw the first couple of overs, saw a ball on top as 2 runs scored from the first over, 6 from the second. Since then, we have seen a couple of big overs from the Hawks as they have looked to exert some bit of dominance. So Paran Patel will bowl to Sarnam. Sarnam on 18. He has done most of the damage so far for Hawks. And this one is hit well in the deep. Man comes around. And the batters will only get one. That's good work in the deep mid wicket region. Kept the ball out of the boundary, and the fielder also got the ball quickly back in. So only a single on offer.
Yes, Carl. Exciting times when Sarnam Patel gets on to strike. He's gone quickly up to, I think, 17 on the board. We'll confirm that in a second. So we're watching Paran Patel runs into ball to Hyder Ali. We've seen Hyder Ali in the last of a couple of 4s towards the backward square area. So Sarnam Patel, as you can see, he's up to 19. Those are the 2 captain, Basit Siddiqui and Jason Greaves. And Jason Greaves continues to marshal his personnel out in the field.
And 2 very experienced captains, excellent tacticians. Jason Greaves is a man who knows his way around the cricket field. So too is Bassett. Oh,
so inside edge,
pulled it
onto
on,
the sticks.
played it on, and so the second wicket falls here as we watch Paran approach, and a foolish ball outside off stump and dragged it back onto his stumps. And so that's the end of Hyder Ali. It's 31 for 2.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Pawan Kumar comes to the middle. He joins Sarnam Patel. And Hawks in some bit of trouble here, Carl. They're 2 down, 31 on the board.
And a couple of good strikes from a Gotham's perspective. And as we've said, Len, picking up wickets in the power play is a very effective strategy in restricting teams, as when wickets are falling, batters are usually not scoring. And so having lost 2 wickets here, It's managed, the effect has managed to pull the run rate back, and so just under 7 and over inside the power play. I'm sure Gothams will take that, having picked up the wickets they have.
So Washington Hawks, certainly the Hawks has always been a popular sporting entity name, Carl, over time. What comes to mind when you think of Hawks?
Well, the first one I would think of would be the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA, the National Basketball Association. A loud appeal. Oh, it's given. It's been given. So Pavan gets one ball. And so it's a hat trick. Parin Patel on a hat trick. The loud appeal, concerted appeal. And you see it there from Parin Patel. He was literally on his knees asking the question. And umpire Irfan obliges. 31 for 3.
So a long walk back here for Pawan Kumar.
And
The old adage, Carl, they say he hasn't troubled the scorer, but I tell you, if you do scoring, and you've got to out a couple of batsmen in 2 balls, it needs a lot of work.
the question is, as we see the roster here for the New York Gothams, Jason Greaves, the captain, and they say, Len, when he comes back into the pavilion, his teammates will ask him, how did the bat knock? And so the question, I'm not sure what question he or what answer he'll be able to provide, as played all around a straight ball from Paran Patel, and adjudged to have been trapped on the crease. And so he heads back to the hut, and so the new batter walks out to the middle in the form of Dhruv. Dhruv Dagley.
So Dhruvil Dagley comes to the middle. And he comes in here with the Hawks in a lot of trouble. They're 3 down for 31 on the board. We've seen a couple of wickets here off the bowling of Paran Patel. So Dhruvil Dagley.
So we do
We
get the
confirmation. It's him. And he comes in here at 31 for 3. Couple of strikes here from Paran Patel. Paran Patel is on a hat trick. We haven't seen one in phase 2. Phase 2 has just started yesterday, but you never know. We saw a couple of early hundreds in phase 2. So this could be a phase 2 with early stuff happening. And so Paran Patel with a couple of wickets would have gotten the wicket of Hyder Ali playing on, and first ball Pawan Kumar. So here we go, hat-trick ball into bowl to Dagley. And Dagley's taking on the pad, a bit of stifled appeal. And in the end, no hat-trick.
And what a ball to get as your first ball, as you watch him here. And he's forward, actually comes off the bat, but played into the surface. And just managing to stave off the hat-trick. And so the good bowling of Paran Patel continues. And Len, as we continue to say, when wickets are falling, runs aren't scoring. And again, so off the mark goes Dhruvil, and playing into the surface again. And so the total pushes on as the over comes to an end. 2 runs from it. A good over from a Gotham's perspective. It's 32 for 3.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So 32 for 3. Welcome into the box, Matt. Good start here from the Gothams, led by Greaves. You've seen a lot of Jason Greaves But Washington Hawks, they're in trouble here, batting at 32 for 3.
Yeah, they really are. Sanam Patel has looked bright, but around him has not looked too good for the Washington Hawks. The New York Gothams doing quite well at the moment.
So the Hawks is a type of bird, of course. Trying to recall some of the cricketers in the world, Matt, that does have a name that that talks about bird. Jackson Bird.
Yeah.
Jackson Bird out of Australia.
Graham Swan. Graham Swan.
Graham Swan, that's another player. Mason Crane. Mason Crane, that's another one. Robin Singh.
Hey, Robin.
That's another type of bird. Robin Singh. While we're watching the Hawks here, they're not flying too high. They're batting at 32 with 3 down. Sarnam Patel has certainly been the standout batter. This ball turned into the onside. We've seen some standout batters from different teams, Matt. We saw earlier on Ranak Sharma. And now could we be seeing Sarnam Patel as one of their top batters?
Very similar situations in terms of what's happened around them. We saw Ranak Sharma, a brave fighting knock from him. Just didn't get the support he needed, and now we're seeing a similar case for Sanam Patel, who's on 18 or 14 but has played some very good shots and has looked in good nick. But he's seen Karanjit, Haider and Pavan Kumar fall all around him, all without hitting double figures.
Yes, and Sarnam Patel has really looked apart from the rest, Matt. They come back for a couple of runs, very tight but not a good throw. And Mukel Ayaswamy, he's a top-class keeper, but that's not where you want the throws to go. And so a couple of runs there for Sarnam Patel, a man with a little bit of minor league experience.
Yeah, played last year for the Florida Beamers. Was probably one of the standouts from a Florida Beamers side. They didn't do quite well last year. But also spends a lot of time with Sampami, RDU, Sampami, in the local tournaments around. So, well known.
Yeah, the Samp Army unit has been so grand and so big, Matthew, that they can't keep all the players in one big team. And we've seen the emergence of the RDU, a spin-off from the big Samp Army. Oh, turned away into the onside. Runs here, it may run away. And it has. That's a good-looking shot from Sarnam Patel. He's fighting back here.
Yeah, and he's continued to play shots and be attacking. He hasn't seemed to be fazed by the 3 wickets that have fallen around him. He's continuing to play his natural game. And I think that's very important for a player in a situation like this, where Sarnam Patel finds his team 39 for 3. Someone has to keep pushing. Someone has to keep that run rate in a suitable position. And you can always get your teammates to bat around you. So far, so good for Sarnam Patel.
Yeah, Matt, you're right on that. Good point. The fact is, the worst place a batsman can find himself in is being too tentative and go into a shell. He has decided that his best way is to showcase his skill. And he's a top player. I'm pretty sure he could get among the runs. He's already among the runs. He's up to 25. You can see that. 39 for 3.
Overdone.
Oh, punched over the offside. And threatening the equipment here in the come box. And that has gone away for a 1 bounce 4. 4 good looking runs from Sarnam Patel. Is 43 for 3 at the end of that over.
Come on, commentary. Somebody gotta take one for the team. Goalkeeper stat.
I got 7 in that over.
Yeah, 7 balls in over.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
ब्रेकफास्ट भूल गया कर लूंगा
इतनी
कर
बार
लूंगा
बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So,
किया करो
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे
Okay.
पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी
रखूं? हाँ हाँ हाँ
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर मिक्स कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट
Strike from Sarnam Patel. Matt continues to bat well. And the scoreboard is looking a lot better than it was maybe 2 overs ago. Look at that, 43 on the board.
Yeah, a couple of good shots from Sarnam in the final over, in the previous over rather. 43 in the power play is not great, but when you look at 3 wickets down, perhaps not the end of the world, still going at over 7. Sarnam Patel, largely, they have to give a large thanks to Sarnam Patel for that. 28 of 18. Dhruv Dagli comes on to strike, and this will run away for 4. Did I clip the bat or the pad? It's the bat of Dhruv Dagli, so he goes up to 6. And 4 runs to Dhruv Dagli. Dagli, another player with minor league experience for the Philadelphians last year.
So ball going down the wrong line, and we see Sarnam Patel signaling to his dugout. He wants to know what's the score. So he wants to keep a lid on things there. Good awareness. He just want to make sure where they at. Paran Patel continues. We saw in the last over, Matt, a double strike from Paran Patel. And so far, a good fight back here from the Hawks. They're going at just over 7 runs and over. And they've lost 3 batters so far.
Yeah, the Gothams did well to get 3 wickets in the power play. Anytime you get 3 wickets in the power play is a good thing. Quick single taken there. Direct hit by Greaves, but well in was Sarnam Patel. Pushing for that single. Looking to at least apply a bit of pressure in the field from the New York Gothams. It's fair to say it was a difficult phase 1 for the New York Gothams, as well as the Washington Hawks. None of them were lived up to the expectations. So one of these teams will get off and running with a win in phase 2. We know that for sure.
So Sarnam Patel comes back into strike. He's played a very good hand so far. Things seems to happen when he's at the crease. We've seen shots all along the ground so far. That's the picturesque ground where we at. Oh, look at that. Off the bat of Sarnam Patel, and that has gone across the road. Not many players have struck ball across the road in this tournament. Here we go.
Brilliant shot from Sarnam Patel. Very impressive. Here's Sarnam Patel. Not taking that foot off the gas.
So Yas will have some work to do out in the thick bushes there, Matt. Maybe Danny Khan will have to keep the play going on by taking that box of ball. But a big shot here from Sarnam Patel is 54 for 3. The 50 comes up in the 7th over. We'll take a short break as we replaced a ball. So there you have it, USPL Phase 2, match number 4. Washington Seattle Hawks takes on the New York Gothams in a game that is in progress. We've seen a very good fight back here from Sarnam Patel leading the charge for the Washington Seattle Hawks. He's played lovely so far, Matt. He's up to 34. In fact, he's up to 35 from just 19 balls.
Yeah, very quick start for him. And Paran Patel, a contrast in overs. Goes again! Sarnam Patel, that has gone a long way into the parking lot again. Another clean strike from Sarnam, and what a show he's putting on here today.
Yeah, that's another big shot, targeting the straight-ish side. This time towards the offside, and when you play shots like that, it's 11 men watching at the ball sails over into the parking area a lot. That's a lovely shot from Sarnam Patel.
So he was on a hat-trick in his previous over, Paran Patel, and now he's been taken for 17.
Makes you want to remember the Kyron Pollard. And
Yeah, Akila Dhananjaya picked up a hat-trick, and then the next over gets hit for 6 sixes.
what a contrasting over in international cricket.
It
That has to be
can't
one
be
of the
that.
best.
Can't be that. Can't be that. Gus has to be the biggest contrast. Expensive over from Paran Patel. Goes for 18. Brilliant batting from Sarnam Patel. It's 61 for 3 at the end of 7.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी कुछ नहीं
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
ब्रेकफास्ट भूल गया कर लूंगा
इतनी
कर
बार
लूंगा
बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So,
किया करो।
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे
Okay.
पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है,
रखूं?
नहीं
हाँ हाँ हाँ
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर मिक्स कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट
A partnership of 30 between the pair out in the middle, Matt. I'm pretty sure it's been dominated by Sarnam Patel, who continues to bat the way that Sarnam bats. And I'm surprised so far we haven't seen the off spin of Jason Greaves. Maybe if he wasn't the captain.
Was just making the point. Surprised that we haven't seen Jason as yet. Handy all-rounder. Very, very impressive player. I saw from phase 1, Jason Greaves. Could do it all.
Yeah, he had a very good series. We saw one match. He pulled out some very big shots here at this purchase ground. So number 12 comes in to the bowling attack, Krishna Bhatia.
A team with a lot of spin that they got in phase 1 with Krishna Bhatia and Jason Greaves and Marcella Brooks, who's not in the 11 for phase 2 so far, but yeah, they packed a lot of spin last year, did the New York Gothams. Full toss to start.
Asking to be hammered and over the road. And Danny Khan may have to go out with another ball. That's gone for 6.
This one a lot easier to retrieve. But full toss, and Sarnam Patel in the mood he's in is not missing out on that one. He goes up to 48. Off just 22 deliveries. Very good knock from him. But a not so great start. A loose one from Krishna Bhatia to start things.
So ball paddling to the onside, wrong line again. And that has gone away for another boundary, Matt. No, 50 has come up for Sarnam Patel. So here we go. Quick fire 52 of just 23 balls.
Yeah, it's been a poor start here from Krishna Bhatia. First a full toss and now one straying down the leg side. Easy for Sarnam Patel. And he goes up to 52 of 23 deliveries. It's been a very good knock from him. Very entertaining one as well, and he's played some class shots.
So ball worked into the onside. This over has really not gone well here for Krishna Bhatia. 11 off this over in just 3 balls. He has certainly released the pressure applied by the Gothams earlier on. on the Washington Hawks. Sarnam Patel doing some bit of damage. He's up to 52, Sarnam, as Dhruval Dagley comes back into strike. So single to Dagley brings Sarnam Patel, the exciting Sarnam Patel. Now, Matt, this phase 2 series has only started yesterday, so we'll have to keep a tab on the quickest 50. But you think with a 23 ball 50 here by Sarnam Patel, that will certainly set the benchmark, and we'll wait and see what happens afterwards.
Well, I wonder, we weren't here to see it, but I wonder how many balls it took Praneeth and Prajapati to get their half centuries, given they went on to make 100.
Well, Carl will certainly give us that information that we missed yesterday, but Prajapati made a very quick 100, so you're right on that. We'll have to see how quick he got up to his 50, Prajapati. We saw 23 ball 52 from Sarnam Patel, man out in the middle, but we're watching Dhruval Dagley on strike. And this over's gone for 13. This has been a very big over. So 8 gone, 74 for 3.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So we're back with the cricket. 8 overs gone, Matt. Good fight back for the 3-run partnership. We'll take a look at that partnership. That 43-run partnership has come up in 20 balls. 35 contributed by Sarnam Patel. As Jason Greaves, the captain, comes into the attack. 8 overs in the book so far.
Jason Greaves, player with lots of experience in the New York area and in the Northeast in general. Very exciting player. Very committed to everything he does. Very vocal captain as well. You could always hear him talking to his men. Wasn't the captain for phase 1, but has definitely taken the helm for phase 2. And so far looks like he's running a tight ship here, Jason Greaves, which is always good for a captain. Starts with a shorter one. This one pulled away. And they'll get a couple of runs quite easily to Sarnam Patel. He goes up to 56.
Yeah, Matt, and you look at the matchup here. Jason Greaves is an off spinner, so he's going to be turning from the legs. He'll be turning across. Sarnam Patel, this could be a good matchup for the off spinner bowling to the left-hander.
Yeah, very interesting battle this, because you've got a quality bowler in Jason Greaves and you've got a batsman in red-hot form at the moment. Sarnam Patel goes big and goes all the way. Another one sent upstairs, and this is becoming all too easy now for Sarnam Patel. So we have a second look at that.
Yeah, big strike from Sarnam Patel. He knows the dimension here, and he's equally ready to take on any bowler. Jason Greaves, only his second ball of his bowling spell. And forget matchup and forget the ball turning across the the left-hander. That's gone for 6. Ball tapped into open spaces. 3 men just retrieving ball. So many gaps into a cricket field, Matt, especially when you've gone past the first 6 overs of a T20 game. such a vast area of real estate with only 9 men patrolling those vastness of areas, considering the bowlers, the bowler and the keeper, you don't count them out of the 11 men. And so when you look at it that way, there's so much gap.
Yeah, there is, and it's unbelievable to think that players sometimes pick out those fielders in the easiest possible way. That's how the game goes. That's the irony of it.
Yeah, how many times with 2 men outside of the circle and you find one of those?
It's been a good comeback from Greaves. He's got a couple of good balls in.
So Dagley gets hold of this one. It's going to be a chase here for the fielder. A chase that he doesn't win. And 4 more here for Washington Hawks.
Yeah, Druville Dagley getting in on the act now, going up to 11. Good little sweep shot away for 4. Runs coming thick and fast here for the Washington Hawks. And a 56-run partnership between these two. It's come off just 25 deliveries, the bulk of it from Sanam Patel, the non-striker Zen. But Druville Dagley has got a few shots as well. 13 off the over from Greaves, an expensive one.
Yeah,
Still-
Matt, we
Still a
saw,
ball to go.
saw the last 2 overs gone for what, 25 or 26 runs. This is another tall over here of the bowling of Jason Greaves. He's bowled expensive on this one. Oh, lofted into the offside. Fielder comes in, takes the catch, and that's the end of the partnership, and that's the end of Dagley. Take a look.
Druville Dagley looking to go up and over. Doesn't get hold of it. And running in is Dhruvish Med. Takes quite a simple catch in the end. And after a difficult over for Jason Greaves, he picks up the wicket and breaks the partnership. So Druville Dagley goes... It's 87 for 4 at the end of 9.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So we're back with the cricket. New batter out in the middle, Jamil Parilon. And he comes in here, Matt, at the fall of a big partnership. Dagley falls, Sarnam is still out in the middle. And Hawks will hope that Sarnam stick around too long enough. He's up to 63, Sarnam, but we're watching Jamil Parilon, who's come to the wicket. Sarnam will be on strike, 9 overs gone.
Anthony Jagannath into the attack. Comes in for the 10th over. And as a bowler coming in for your first over, you've seen Jason Greaves break the 56-run partnership. Might think it's a little bit easier to come into the attack knowing a wicket has just fallen.
So Jamil is on strike. And Jaggernaut given the ball. Anthony Jaggernaut. We've seen several Jaggernaut in our name resembling the Jaggernaut name. Isaiah Jaggernaut was scheduled to play. We see Advait Jaggernaut. Now we're watching Anthony Jaggernaut. 87 for 4.
So Sanam Patel is on strike. On 63. Right away appealing. They'll get through. We'll await any signal. Nope. So in the end runs. 1 run. In fact, here we get the signal. Leg by to Sarnam Patel.
Yeah.
88 for 4.
Yeah, That is why to be an umpire you've got to have both legs, I think. Can't understand why a one-leg umpire. How does he signal leg by?
Or a one-armed umpire, how does he signal a wide?
And no ball every time he tries to signal a one. You're right on that. So good start here from Jaggernaut, Anthony Jaggernaut. First time I'm seeing him, Matt.
Yeah, first time for me as well. Has started off pretty well. Bowling to Jamil Parallon.
And I know Matt, as commentator and certainly scores, we try to identify the players by by a mark. I'm pretty sure if Anthony doesn't wear a hat, we can't miss him. Anthony Jaggernaut, he looks a little bit like Dominic Ricky when Dominic Ricky has a bat here. A big swing and a miss has been given out. So that's the end of Jamil Parallon. He doesn't last long. And look at this. He's been given out leg before wicket.
Going for the sweep shot, hits the back leg. And it's always difficult to be given not out when it strikes the back leg, and in this case Jamil Parallon finds himself walking back third ball without scoring, but a fine start this from Anthony Jaggernaut. He picks up the wicket. 88 for 5, and now wicket starting to fall again for the Washington Seattle Hawks.
So Ali Umair Anjum comes to the middle. It was not too long ago, Matt. They were batting at 80. They were batting at 31 for 3, 87 for 4, and all of a sudden, 1 run later, it's 88 for 5. So what a fight back here from the New York Gothams. And we're still beginning to see Sarnam Patel very much in this game. He's asking to have an idea what the score is. This man is a keen competitor. He's posted 63 so far. And he will have a hand. He will have something to say about the next 62 balls, I'd say, Matt.
Yeah, Sarnam Patel, a big part here still in this innings. Getting through for single first ball is Anjum.
Yeah, Jason Greaves running and diving. May not have timed the dive properly, Jason Greaves. Brings Sarnam Patel. He's batted exceptionally well so far when you consider it's 89 for 5 and he alone has 62. 63 to be exact. Oh, strike straight down the ground. Just over the man at a long off, and that's gone for another 6. So Sarnam Patel gets into the act again. He goes up to 69. And the man continues to bat well, 95 for 5. So midway of the innings so far, we've seen a very excellent knock from Sarnam Patel. Ali Umair Anjum has come to join him. And to join me is Carl Bennett, 95 for 5, Carl.
Yes, Len. Interesting point in this fourth and final match of the Phase 1 opening weekend. And we're seeing a special innings being played here by Sarnam Patel, who stands at the non-strikers end for the moment.
So ball worked into the onside. Graves has been quite expensive. His first over would have gone for 14. In fact, 13.
But
he comes back with a couple of good balls in this over.
He did pick up a wicket, Len, which sometimes you will take the wicket at the expense of the runs. So how many runs is a wicket worth is sometimes the question we ask. So won't crucify Graves. And he should have another here. Man is settling, takes the catch. And so Graves picks up his second. And now it's 96 for 6. As the man coming around there. And we see him settling under it. And he takes it cleanly in the end. And it's number 12, Krishna Bhatia, who makes it. And so Krishna makes it 96 for 6.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
From his players, and he's very crossed, Carl, that probably he has given it away. Basit Siddiqui and Jason Greaves, the two captains.
Yes, Len. And so the captain comes at a crucial time for Washington Hawks, seeing the back of their best batter to this point, Sarnam Patel, who was deceived by Jason Greaves. And we talked about the previous over in which Greaves was particularly expensive. So he comes right back with a couple of quality deliveries, the best of which was able to capture the wicket of Sarnam Patel. And so now Gothams looking to press home their advantage. So he starts with a good ball. And again, Jason Greaves, again, we talk about how well he leads his team and how better to lead your team than leading by example. Leading from the front, Jason Greaves.
Yeah, Greaves has picked up a couple of wickets. Punch through the offside from Basit Siddiqui. Very fast outfield. And that's gone away for 4. That's a good shot from the captain.
And so we watch it here as it's punched away through the offside. And so the skipper is up and running. Good looking shot. And Hawks are going at 9 and over, so they're still on course for a decent total if they can continue to go at that clip. Unfortunately, with only 4 wickets in hand, it's unrealistic to expect that they would be able to continue this for the next 10 overs or 9 after this one.
So the 100 would have come up during the course of that boundary. So 100 on the board here for Hawks. Bit of a milestone for them. They've lost 6 along the way. Jason Greaves has claimed 2 of those.
And we see the unusual bowling style of Jason Greaves. A wide is called as he takes a couple of hops, a couple of bunny hops, and then delivers.
We saw Varun Samaru, another bowler with a bit of quirky action.
As the over comes to an end, it's 6 runs from it, a successful one for Jason Greaves. And so Washington Hawks are 101 for the loss of 6 wickets. So we see just behind us there, Len, the CBTF banner, the logo of our the title sponsor of the U.S. Premier League. And without the title sponsor, a lot of the support that enables the U.S. Premier League would not be possible. So we want to say good afternoon to all the good folks at CBTF and just express gratitude for all the tremendous work that they do in supporting cricket across the U.S.
So Anthony Jagannath will continue. His first over would have gone for 7. Picked up the wicket of Jamil Parilon. Leg before. So he comes back into the attack, and you get the feeling that the Gothams could enjoy some better overs in the middle now that Sarnam Patel is back in the shade. It's 101 for 6.
And suddenly, Len, it would appear a much more animated New York Gothams. Everybody now spirited, spring in everybody's step as The dismissal of Sarnam has certainly put some impetus back in the effort here, the bowling effort of the New York Gothams. Swing and a miss, and being very fortunate not to hear the furniture clattering behind him, as that one seemed eerily close to off stump. Good bowling effort by Anthony Jaggernaut so far, Len.
Yeah, this has been very good bowling. Anjum not being able to get hold of some big shots he's attempting. Now he gets a single towards the onside and brings the captain chance of running for 2, but Bazid Siddiqui was more content in getting ready for the next ball, not paying attention to what's happening. Alert enough, they should have come back for 2.
So you'd expect this run rate to start to come back to down to earth, so to speak. We when Sarnam was at the wicket, Washington Hawks were going at better than 9 and over, in the region of 10 and over, and we've seen that run rate starting to head downwards. And again, another good over in progress here from another Gotham's bowler. This one only 1 from it so far, and that follows the over from Jason Greaves, where he conceded 6 runs but picked up a couple of important wickets, or picked up an important wicket. And so with 1 ball remaining here in over number 12, Jaggernaut looking to finish strong for Gothams. And so he completes a good over, just 1 run from it after 12. It's 102 for the loss of 6 wickets.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Jason Greaves to continue, and Ali Umair Anjum, the man on strike, he's on 3. Both batters have been kept relatively tight here, as another swing and a miss, and so no answers at the moment for either Jason Greaves or Anthony Jaggernaut, as Gotham's fighting their way back into this contest. They've picked up wickets all along the way, but from a run rate standpoint, looking to come back, and again a swing and a miss, and so unable to negotiate the spin here off Jason Greaves.
Yes, Carl, that has been the hallmark of bowling slow. It's an art that comes with so much deception because because of it just being slow. And as a batsman, as in the case of Anjum, if you're gonna just swing the bat there, it doesn't work like that, or else technique would have never been invented, or at least perfected to an extent to really become good batters in the world. It's 102 for 6.
And Jason Greaves just looping the ball up above the eye line off Ali Anjum. And there it is again, and this time it's going behind him for a wide. And so we get the confirmation from umpire Irfan.
So the competition continues on next Saturday. We'll try to update you on next weekend's fixture. Not a swing and a miss here from Anjum. And it's all Jason Greaves all the way. So next Saturday, we'll see the Maryland Mavericks taking on the Gothams. That's the early morning game. And Florida Sharks returns, and they'll be taking on Pennsylvania Cavaliers.
So again, this one defended. And so Jason Greaves continuing to apply pressure. Dot ball after dot ball. We've seen just a lid being put on the run scoring of the Washington Hawks. They had been going quite fluently, and now taking on the back foot as he was back and across looking to pull through the onside. And so Ali Umir Anjum has no answers here against Jason Greaves.
So this man has faced 11 balls for 3 runs. It's in the air. Fielder comes in, and in the end falls in between. They come back for a couple of runs. This is Anjum's best shot of his innings so far. So it's 105 for 6.
Should have been out. Should have been out. The 2 men running backwards, and no communication there. And in fact, just avoiding what would have been a catastrophic collision. And in the end, the fortunate thing for New York Gothams as a bowling unit is that neither of those 2 players got injured. So it's 105 for 6 with 13 overs completed.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल, मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी. MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So Juggernaut to continue, and this one is being pulled off the square by Siddiqui, and he'll pick up run number 5. 41 balls remain. Should Hawks go out run a ball, they would get to 147, so just shy of 150. We've seen a team already today defend 155. Question is, was that by skill or by luck? We know that this surface has totals in excess of 180 in it. And so still trying to figure out or trying to determine what's par on this ground as this one is hit out towards mid-wicket, and this time he connects and connects well. Up and over, gone for a CBTF maximum.
Yeah, big strike here from Anjum. Struck it well. He's a well-built man. And he picks up a boundary here. All of a sudden, his strike rate looks a lot improved with that big shot. And that's the irony here, Carl. 112.
And sometimes it only takes one swing of the blade, and it comes right out of the screws. Ball flighted by Juggernaut, and you swing at it enough times. You take a swing enough times, eventually you're going to connect on 1 or 2. And that was one occasion when Anjum did connect.
So we see in the background a lot of cars parking in the lot. Someone, Carl, was asking me, are those the cars of the spectator that has come to watch the game here? And I said, not really, but we have decent crowd watching these games. Of course, we're pretty much global, but in phase 1, got a crowd. We had chairs set up all around the ground. Oh, balled him. So his misery has come to an end. Anjum falls, and it's 112 for 7. Take a look.
And ball here that's flighted above the eye line again, a swing and a miss, as we've seen Anjum swing enough times, and as we've said, he's going to connect on a few, but he missed more of them than he connected on. And so the 7th wicket falls, and Hawks in quite a bit of trouble here as they struggle at 112%.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता. इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com. यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो. विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So it's 112 for 7. Preet Patel has come to the middle. He joins the captain Bazid Siddiqui. Anthony Jaggernaut is bowling a 2 for 15. He's picked up 2, so the spinners have done well. Jason Greaves, Anthony Jaggernaut, and Parin Patel, the medium pacer, Carl. They've picked up 2 wickets so far. 2 wicket apiece.
Yes, Len. And Yas Patel would have picked up the other one. And so the bowlers have done the job. 2 for 15 for Jaggernaut, 2 for 22 for Greaves, and 2 for 20 for Parin Patel. And so they've really come to the party here for New York Gothams.
So Kyan's score is Preet Patel. Bazid Siddiqui is the man at his non-strikers end. 37 balls still to be bowled.
And have to be impressed by this youngster, Anthony Jaggernaut. I saw him walk by earlier, Len. And he was carrying what I call a man purse, like on the side of his shoulder. As this one is hit well down the ground. And the fielder does well coming around, keeping the batters just to 1. And so that will complete the over. We'll pick up the Jaggernaut man purse on the other side of the break. It's 14 overs gone, 112 for 7.
130. So Dhruvish Med comes back into the attack. Would have started at the top of the order. 2 overs, no made, none for 12. As the action continues here, Carl, it's 113 for 7.
And the effort of New York Gothams, certainly a good one. There were times when it looked like they might have been batted out of this contest, particularly when Sarnam Patel was going great guns. Since then, they've managed to pick, in fact, all along, they've managed to pick up wickets all along the way, particularly in the power play. They picked up 3 wickets in the power play, and then have just continued to build on that momentum. And so here they are in over number 15, looking to close out Washington Hawks, and looking to do so as quickly as possible. Jason Greaves, the captain, has done quite well maneuvering his bowlers, utilizing his immense experience to get on top here as another delivery sent through and reflecting, in fact, as a wide, this one. And so that one will have to be rebowled. So Preet Patel, the man on strike, looking to punch this one up through the offside, and this one may run away, and in fact it's gone across the ropes, and so that's 4 runs, a well-needed boundary from a Washington Hawks perspective.
Yeah, good shot from Preet Patel. It's the type of ground that you'll get full value of those shots, those crisp punch. You punch them across into open gaps, and once it gets away from the fielder, we'll run away for 4. We're seeing a contrasting play on the ground as we saw in mid-June when the first phase happened from June 16th to the 20th. Still a little bit, some cool days we've had. And what we saw, Carl, during phase 1 was not as quick as phase 2 in terms of the ground. Of course, we are in July. We're in the 2nd week of July. So things have really, from a weather perspective, more hard, a lot more sun, a lot more heat. Lofted into the onside. And a single to to Prit Patel. Basit Siddiqui comes back onto strike.
So just one ball remaining in this 15th over. And by all metrics, have to say advantage at New York Gothams. Ball hit in the air towards backward square. LeBon looks up, watches it go over. It's gone for a maximum. And so that will close out over number 15. 12 runs from it as you see him on one knee here and hoisting it over deep backward square. And only thing to do there from Mario LeBon is to go and bring it back. So it's 125 for 7 at the end of 15 overs. So we welcome back Matthew Achaibar into the box. And so it's 125 for 7. Another good hit. This in the air. Man comes around, should take the catch, and does so. That's the end of Patel as he falls. And we see it here, Matt. A ball that was outside the off stump, always in the air. And around comes Druvish, and he takes it. That's another one down. It's 125 for 8.
Another catch for Dhruvish Med. We saw him take the catch to dismiss Dhruval Dagley early on, so some safe hands there. But Anthony Jagannath has had a brilliant day. 3.1 overs, 3 for 16. And aside from Sanam Patel, things have just not clicked at all for the Washington Hawks.
Yes, they've pretty much struggled from ball one. And the struggle continues as the new batter strides to the middle. I think it's Asif Mahmood. We'll confirm. But we've seen just a good bowling effort on the part of the New York Gothams team, led now by young Anthony Jagannath. His 3 for 16 has paved the way for Gothams. 2 for 22 from Jason Greaves and 2 for 20 from Paran Patel. Also supporting quite creditably. And then the only other wicket taker was Yas Patel. 125 for 8. We're inside the death overs here at SUNY Purchase. So
29 deliveries remaining. You'd think that the Washington Hawks will perhaps just be looking to bat out those 29 deliveries rather than get bowled out with balls to spare.
And a very pitch patch sort of approach to their innings. So not sure that there was any strategic intent. And therefore unclear whether or not it will be even in their consciousness to try to occupy the crease for all 20 overs.
Seen good bowling from Jagannath and Jason Greaves. Greaves with 2 for 22 from 3 overs, and Jagannath with 3 for 16. This one played up for a single to the captain Bazid.
And so to your point, Matt, the question, it will always come down to, will they be able to occupy the crease for all 20 overs? It's a cardinal sin in T20 cricket to be dismissed all out before you would have faced the full allotment, the full complement of overs at your disposal. But oh, and there's another one gone. And so Asif goes without scoring. And so Matt, it's now 126 for 9.
I'm just questioning here the shot from Asif Mahmood. First ball, his team 126 for 8. I'm not entirely sure that's perhaps the best way to get out of the situation. Looking for a big sweep, and in the end, straight through his defenses. And Anthony Jagannath, 4 for 17.
4 for 17. 2 left.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
Zulfikar will face Anthony Juggernaut, who has 2 balls to get a fifer. He needs 1 wicket. But regardless, it's been a terrific bowling display from him. And one that has gone completely through the Washington Hawks, has wrecked them. Zulfikar is defending first up.
And what a bowling effort here by Anthony Juggernaut. And don't want to get back to the the fashion icon that he is as he completes his bowling spell. He gets a rousing applause from his teammates, and he ends with 4 for 17 from 4 overs. And I will just point out that the fashion icon came in the ground with the what I call it a man purse. Some people refer to it as a merce. And he had it under his armpits as he across the chest and under the armpits when he walked in. And he scooted by. I was wondering, didn't look like a cricketer, but clearly he's come to the park and has represented himself quite well. Came within a delivery or two of having taken a fifer, and finishes with 4 for 17. Very well done by the youngster. So 126 for 9.
Jason Greaves is back, 3 overs, 2 for 22. He's done quite well. His first over was expensive, but he's managed to get a couple of wickets and pull things back in terms of his economy. Bazid Siddiqui looking for another sweep shot. We've seen a lot of sweeps attempted in both this game and the previous game, and not really a lot of them have gone to plan.
And he has done quite well, as you pointed out, since the first over he bowled, which went for quite a few. Went for 13 since then, has picked up a wicket, and he did pick up a wicket actually in that first over as well. And has come back well here. This one hit down the ground just for a single.
So final payout in the middle. They're tasked with facing 22 deliveries and seeing what they can get to out of that. One thing about a T20 is that a difficult innings comes to an end very quickly.
So, Matt, I think I was spoiled on a run feast yesterday, and today quite the opposite. More bowlers coming to the fore, teams having been restricted, and so it's been a bowler's party. There's another single taken by the Washington Hawks, and by no means is 128 perhaps enough on this ground. But again, that said, we saw 155 defended somewhat comfortably earlier this morning. And so runs on the board are runs on the board. And that's the end of the Washington Hawks innings. It's wrapped up for 128 all out, as we watch the replay here from Jason Greaves. And swinging, recklessly swinging and missing is Siddiqui. And so he loses his mid stump. It's 128 all out.
Never really got going, the Washington Hawks. We saw a brilliant knock from Sanam Patel, but that's probably where the compliments end for the Hawks. Overall, a very good bowling display from the New York Gothams. Jason Greaves, 3 for 24. Paran Patel, 2 for 20. And the main man, Anthony Jagannathan, 4 overs, 4 for 17. Brilliant performance from him.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
Surnam Patel, what a stunning knock of 69 off of just 31, 5 fours and 6 sixes. I know you were kind of the lone warrior out there for the squad, you know, opening the batting and really getting the team to 128, but what do you think, you know, in terms of your, let's talk about your knock first, you know, so what are the positives from that knock? And obviously you were playing out there. What was going through your mindset?
So I was just thinking about getting a good start for my team and then just keep going, you know, play 20 overs, get a good total for my team. And for the pitch, I would say outside off balls, some balls were just staying low, so that might be the problem for other guys. And yeah.
What was the conversation you were having with, you know, the guys that were coming in? Because obviously you needed someone to kind of build up a partnership with, which you weren't really getting, which I think kind of built on pressure for you as well.
Yeah, so I was just having a conversation with my partners that just stay there, just try to play some balls, just get your eye in, because I knew that the balls were staying low, some of the balls, so maybe playing on back foot might be a little bit challenging for them. And also their skipper was bowling a good line and length, so just try to play him out and then we can capitalize on the other bowlers.
Now with, you know, 120 on the board, 129 for them to need, I know you guys have a great bowling lineup as well, but what's going to be the plan? I mean, being out there in the middle, seeing kind of how the bowlers were performing and especially getting those wickets, what do you think your side really needs to do?
So I think we'll just keep the tight length line, and then they still have to score 129, and we'll just fight until the end, and let's hope we win.
Well, it's great watching you bat, Surnam, and all the best for this innings. And we are joined with Anthony Jagannathan, who took 4 wickets in his overs, giving away only 17 runs. I mean, being a youngster out here and being a part of this USPL Phase 2, how does it feel giving that performance for your team?
First off, it was nervous. It's my first time playing in front of the crowd, the spectators and all of this, and it's a nice feeling. Skipper keep me on track and all of that, so it was a nice feeling.
Yeah, we saw, you know, Jason really, you know, in terms of talking to the bowlers, you know, making those changes in the bowling and especially, you know, bringing you in, especially when it was time to get those wickets, you know, himself getting, you know, that wicket for Surnam. And I think you guys had a great bowling unit as well. So he had those differences to come. But, you know, being here and as you mentioned, being in a tournament like this where you have a production house, you have viewers, and it's your first time. So enjoying it so far?
I am. Shout out to my mom looking at me, my dad back home supporting me for.
I'm absolutely sure that they're really proud. I mean, that was great out there, taking the 4 wickets. Now 129 for you guys to chase. With the batting you guys have, you know, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think we have a pretty firm batting lineup, and the boys are going to conquer it.
Well, beautifully bowled. I'm sure your parents are very proud, and we'll see you. Congratulations. So that's it here. The New York Gothams are going to be out there. 129 to win. Let's see what happens. We're going to head back to the comm box.
Will be the man on strike, and Marvin Labon will be the non-striker. We will pick up the bowler momentarily. But welcome back, Carl Bennett. Asking rate 6.4. We've seen a big wicket haul, 4-wicket haul for Anthony Jagannathan. Can the batsman do the rest?
Yes, Len, and the man with ball in hand is Bazid Siddiqui. He will open the bowling here, and with the realization that they don't have a lot of runs to play with, and therefore in circumstances such as this, bowling units will have to look to pick up wickets and to pick up wickets early as the first over about to get underway. And Mokil on strike, Marvin Loban stands at the non-striker's end. Laban of relation to Mario Laban, who we saw earlier this morning.
So ball flicked away quickly here by Ayaswamy. Will pick up a couple of runs. And so good confident shot to start. Mukil Ayaswamy would have been part of the phase 1 project, and he comes back here. He's off and running with a good looking shot for a couple of runs. He's the keeper of the side. And so 2 off the first ball.
So wickets the order of the day. If you're a supporter of Washington Hawks, they need them inside this power play. And this should be an uncomplicated run chase, as not a lot required effectively run a ball the ask. And so a team the quality of New York Gothams, you would think, should be able to approach this run chase in a pretty straightforward manner. Runs on the board are always a little bit tricky for a chasing team, and appealing as the ball clips the pad on the way through. Umpire Irfan not interested. So a circumspect start for the New York Gothams. They know that no big risks are required in this chase. So batters can just go about their business in a workmanlike manner. As a ball worked away for another single. So you see the captains, Bazid Siddiqui and Jason Greaves. And Bazid Siddiqui, the man with ball in hand for the Washington Hawks. We saw Jason Greaves earlier with his bowling exploits, picked up 3 wickets on the afternoon. He finished with 3 for 24 from his 3.4. So both captains looking to lead from the front.
Oh, a lovely cover drive from Mukil Ayaswamy. Perhaps the shot of the day. And it comes off this right-hander. Take a look at this beauty. Bang, through the offside. That's 4 runs.
Absolutely lovely. Just right to the pitch of the ball, opening the face, picking the gap at extra cover. And you're right, Len, one of the class shots we've seen on the afternoon, as Marvin Laban is the man who is up and running, and he gets away. So 7 for none, and that will close out the first over. And so it's 7 for none.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So we're back with the cricket. A lovely drive in the last over from Marvin Laban. Shot of the day. Beautiful to watch. And they're off to a good start here. They're 7 of the first over.
And then Marvin Laban comes from good cricketing stock. Man who comes out of the island of Jamaica. We saw his cousin earlier in action, Mario Laban, playing for the Pennsylvania Cavaliers. And Laban would have played under 15 cricket national for the Jamaica national team. So a quality batsman. And so
Yes, Carl, a classic cover drive. Really pleasing on the eye to watch, as Prith Patel has been given the ball, and not too sure with our markers if we would have picked up that lovely drive. I'm pretty sure it's in the archive somewhere. We've seen so many good shots during the course of phase 1. We've seen the lofty shots, and also we have seen the classics.
Oh, this should be a no ball, I think. As the ball going above, well, what appeared to be above waist height. Umpire Not interested. Nonetheless, it's just a dot ball.
Yeah, not too sure if you saw a free hit yesterday, Carl, but we haven't seen one today.
We did see a couple of free hits yesterday, Len. And in fact, quite a number. One particular team bowled a lot of extras and paid the price. We saw in the Maryland and Texas Cowboys match, extras when Maryland bowled totaled totaled 17 in 192 runs, and 12 of those were wides. And there were a couple of there were 4 byes, and there was a no ball there. So we've seen a couple in different matches.
So Marvin Laban comes back into strike. A classy cover drive that got him 4 runs, 4 beautiful runs. Oh, he loses his off stump. A ball full, looking for more drives through the offside, doesn't go too well, and Prit Patel takes him out.
So here is Preet, foolish delivery, and he drags it on, looking again to punch through the offside, playing all around one, drags it onto stumps, and that's the start that the Washington Hawks needed. They have seen the back of Marvin Laban. He falls cheaply, and so it's 8 for 1.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
कितनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे
Okay.
पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3 minute breakfast. इंडिया का breakfast.
So Dhruvis Med comes to the middle, and he comes in here at the fall of Marvin Laban's wicket. Bowling of Prit Patel for 4. It's 8 for 1, still requiring 121 from 110 balls.
So exactly what the doctor ordered from a Washington Hawks standpoint. And they need to try to go for more wickets here inside the power play. If they are to pull themselves back into contention, they're going to need a special bowling effort here to match that of the Washington Hawks, off the New York Gothams when they bowled. Oh, again, ball a bit high. And again, umpires determining that would have been fair enough.
So Ayaswamy comes back into strike. They're off to a slow start at the moment. They would have lost the wicket of Laban, so the remaining batters will have to figure out a way to get 120. Oh, flicked into the onside. That's a good looking shot from Ayaswamy. And it rolls away finally for 4. So good shot from Mukel Ayaswamy. Ball on the leg stump. And that's a good looking shot for 4.
And again, just using the pace of the delivery, angle into the pads, and whipped it off the legs, up and over. And man giving chase, running for all he is worth, and not able to get to it. That was Bilal Zulfikar running towards the backward square boundary. Couldn't stop that one from crossing.
So the competition continues next Saturday, that's July 16th. With, of course, a doubleheader program again. Maryland Mavericks will take on the Gothams. And then the afternoon game, 2:30 game, Florida Sharks will come up against the Pennsylvania Cavaliers. And on Sunday, the Texas Cowboys will engage Washington Seattle Hawks. And then Sunday afternoon, prime time, New Jersey Titans will come up against the Carolina Eagles. So lots of cricket, Carl. An entire strong weekend coming up next week.
Yes, Len, and all matches will be played right here at this beautiful facility at SUNY Purchase College. And you see on screen there right here in Westchester, New York.
So ball driven here by Med, can't score. And Carl, we were talking some of the edifice and certainly the structures or the things in the background there. We see the parking lot that has been used by the sort of like the park and fly area for HCN Airport. That's the Westchester County Airport, a domestic airport that used by people I think in Connecticut and upstate area. Have you used that airport?
I have once or twice, Len. Usually on there. In fact, once I was diverted from a business flight. I was flying from Pittsburgh into LaGuardia. For some reason, this one is hit out of the playing area, and in fact, a couple of bounces into the boundary, and so 4 runs as we see it here, just back of a length, and Dhruv Med climbing all over it and smashes it to straight mid wicket to pick up a boundary. So just coming back, Len, to the HCN airport. I was flying back from Pittsburgh. I was supposed to fly into LaGuardia, and somehow, because of weather conditions, our flight got diverted into the airport here. And in fact, I had the option of going into this airport or going to New Jersey, to Newark. And in the end, I opted to come here because at the time I lived in Yonkers, Westchester, so it made more sense. So another ball pulled into the onside for a single.
So 18 for 1 so far. We're in the third over. So that area at the back there being used by some folks to perhaps park and fly, and hence you see it's Saturday. It's the weekend. You might be wondering how many college people are using the facility, but it's being used by HCN. And I'm surprised that that during the course of phase 1 and even phase 2, we haven't seen or we haven't heard the booming song. This one is driven straight down the ground from Mukel Ayaswamy, and that has gone away for another boundary. 22 for 1.
So straight ball and a hit back over the bowler's head, and a whiplash there for Bazid as he just looks over his shoulders and watch that run into the long off fence. And so a really good shot hitting down the ground. We've said it all day, Len. Perhaps the way to go as a batter. And it served these batsmen very, very well. 22 for 1.
Yes, Carl, just coming back to the point I was making. And I'm surprised that we've been here for phase 1 and a bit of phase 2. We haven't heard a lot of songs from aircraft taking a landing at HCN. I'm kind of surprised that I thought being close to the airport, we probably would have heard a little bit more. That
I will say, Len, it's not the busiest airport, to be fair. It's almost a private airport of sorts. And often, I think the traffic, even coming into the airport, comes from the direction adjacent to here. So the aircrafts wouldn't fly over our vantage point. They would actually come in from the other side.
Speaking of airports and cricket ground, I would want to think that Idlewild Park, and it doesn't get better than that. Idlewild Park, on approach at times, the plane comes down so low onto that ground. That ground across this country has to be one of the lowest you'll see an aircraft flying over a cricket ground, Idlewild Park.
And sometimes then it makes me think that at some point that ground might have been part of the tarmac, because it literally is right next to the airport. And to your point, the aircrafts come, as they come in on approach into JFK, they fly right over the ground sometimes, and they land just as they clear the playing field. You would think they're on the tarmac by the virtue of how low they come in.
So Prit Patel will continue, 22 for 1. Speaking of songs of playing, here we go. Ball outside the off stump to Druvis Med. He can't score. Not given a proper chance to score. Ball wide outside the off stump. 22 for 1. They've lost the wicket of Marvin Laban. They still need 107 from 101 ball, asking 6.3 and over.
And so the start here for Gothams, just under 7 and over. A swing and a miss, a good delivery, fullish length, and asking the batsman to do something doesn't appear to be comfortable doing, and which is to come forward and drive through the offside. And foolish ball, not a lot of movement, and generally when the ball is either just back of a length or in the slot, we've seen batsmen just come forward and hit down the ground, and have done so with confidence and with a lot of consistency. And so if you're a bowler here, your first inkling is to not go full or not to bowl in the slot, as we've seen bowlers be punished for doing just that.
So USPL well and truly on. Big weekend for them. The kickoff of phase 2. We've seen a very grand phase 1. It was won by Florida Shark. Well put together tournament. 5 days of jam-packed cricket. Some exciting encounter. We saw some brilliant batting. Ryan Scott got among the runs. We saw Ranak Sharma. We saw him earlier on today. We see him got a bit of a knock. We saw some new faces. Prajapati, who got 100 yesterday. First time I saw him, I was so impressed with this man. And when I left the ground yesterday, Carl, I told you if there's somebody's gonna overhaul 199 posted yesterday, Prajapati will have to play a big part. When we followed the game, it was not shocking that that Prajapati got 100, but it was kind of surprised that they overhauled 199. Big difference.
Yes, Len, and the way they did it, so clinical in the execution. A shot for a catch at the wicket. Umpire not interested. In fact, he extends the arm, indicating that it was a wide ball.
Yes, Carl, we've seen a tactic used by teams and bowlers to appeal that causes a distraction. The umpire not too sure what has happened, but the real takeaway here is that we've bowled a wide, but we've got to cover it up. That's the cover up.
Well, they did attempt to cover it up. Umpire not interested in the concerted and seemingly very confident appeal.
Yeah, the umpiring in this tournament in phase 1, we saw the elite squad led certainly by the likes of Danny Khan, and that continues to be the situation in phase 2. Danny Khan, the umpires coordinator, along the likes of Brian Kay, Ron McFarlane, Danny himself. Oh, we're seeing Irfan and Iyer. So 4 gone is 24 for 1.
Suddenly you're saying no airplane, all of a sudden the airplanes are coming from everywhere.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी. MTR 3 minute breakfast, इंडिया का breakfast.
So Bilal Zulfikar given the ball. Will come into bowl to Med. They're batting at 24 for 1. It's 105 to win from 96 balls. You're watching the USPL Phase 2 opening weekend. This is match number 4. Next Saturday and Sunday cricket continues here at Purchase with a couple of double headers. Saturday we'll see Mavericks taking on the Gothams. And Saturday afternoon, Sharks, who won the inaugural first season in Phase 1 tournament, that they will come up against Pennsylvania Cavaliers.
And so far this weekend, opening weekend of the USPL, we've seen 3 games through this one. So yesterday we saw the Florida Sharks post 198 for 7, which was chased with 10 balls to spare by the New Jersey Titans, who posted 199 for 3. Then we saw the Maryland Mavericks post 236 for 3, and then restricted Texas Cowboys to 192 for 9, so winning there by 44 runs, the Maryland Mavericks. And then earlier today, the Carolina Eagles were defeated by the Pennsylvania Cavaliers, who posted 155 for 5, and then defended it by restricting the Eagles to 131 for 9.
So in the first phase of this tournament, Washington Hawks was led by Sean Finley, and the Gothams was led by Zishan Anwar, 24 for 1. We're in the 5th over.
So
Bilal Zulfikar given the ball here, third bowler to be used, and so far they're going just over 5 runs and over. They require 6.7.
And so not a bad start here, Len, in given the circumstance in this game by the Washington Hawks as they try to defend 128. The fact is that it's not a lot of runs that's on the board, and we're inside the power play. Only 24 runs are on the board, and they've picked up a wicket. So while they do need wickets to come in bunches, it's certainly not a bad start to have picked one up and only conceded 24 runs. And now there is a sound as the ball went by, and umpire not interested that the ball would have played, and so might have clipped the pad on the way through.
So the keeper is Haider Ali. Just very vociferous. A couple of players coming up. May have touched something on his way through. Umpire Saeed Irfanola. Certainly not impressed. We've seen very good judgment from the umpire so far in both days of play, and they haven't been sucked into one of those loud, aggressive appeal that players will certainly pull out from time to time. Nothing wrong with that. It's all part and parcel of the game. Sport has always been a game in which sometimes the officiating may not be the correct one. And all that has become part and parcel. Now that's a call made by the umpire. He says that's out, and that's the end of made. It's 24 for 2.
And the appeal had gone up a few times and had to dive low to his left and taking the catch, and the finger goes up. That's the end of Juvish Med, and so it's now 24 for 2 rather. A couple of good strikes here for the Washington Hawks as they look to get back into contention.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So new man in is Waqas Akhtar, 2 down, 24 on the board. And he comes in here, Bilal Zulfikar, 4 dot balls, and then he picks up the wicket of Dhruvish Med. Caught Haider Ali ball, Bilal Zulfikar.
And then from Washington Hawks' perspective, they've done exactly what's required inside the power play. They've picked up wickets, and they've restricted New York Gothams to just 24 runs. And so you couldn't have asked for anything more, given that you've posted a less than par score on the board. And in fairness, when New York Gothams batted after 4 overs, in fact, let's say after 5 overs, they were 32. They were 32 for 3. So at this juncture, New York Gothams were just the Washington Hawks were just slightly ahead.
So Waqas Akhtar settles and wait for Zulfikar. Have to wait a while longer. Famous dead ball signal from umpire Saeed Irfan, man who comes out of Long Island in New York. And Carl, if the information is correct, Ayer comes from Boston.
So what an over, a maiden wicket over here for Bilal Zulfikar. And so with 5 gone, then it's 24 for 2. 24 for 2. And again, just a reminder that when Washington Hawks batted at this very same juncture, they were 32 for 3. 32 for 3 when they batted after 5 overs. And so Washington Hawks would have been slightly ahead of where New York Gothams are now. So that means this is exactly what the doctor would have ordered. And so they're trying to get themselves back in contention. As with that, with the completion of over number 5, Matthew Achai-Bar, it gives me an opportunity to welcome Matthew Achai-Bar back into the commentary position. And Matt, game perhaps still hanging in the balance, not a foregone conclusion yet for New York Gothams.
Yeah, the Gothams at halftime, you'd favor them. But so far, it's been a good fight back here from the Washington Hawks. This one driven up by Mukil Ayasami. Field out there. Single. They've done well to get the wickets of Marvin Laban and Dhruvish Med. And they've also kept that run rate at 4.8, which is never a good sign for a batting side in a T20 game.
Particularly in the power play overs where field restrictions are in play. And batters are usually looking to go aggressively in that first phase of the game. And there could be extras coming up here. And in fact, no signal from the umpire. So now we get it. And so a couple of wides added. So 27 the total on the board for the loss of 2 wickets, as Washington Hawks are attempting to do the impossible here, which is defend 128.
In the air from Mukil Ayasami, and that'll go all the way for 6. So very good looking shot from Mukil Ayasami, and a very much needed 6 that for the New York Gothams.
And a ball in the slot, and as we've been saying all weekend long, once the ball is back of a length, allowing the batters to get under to get that elevation, all they're doing is just hitting through the line, hitting straight down the ground. And that's been an effective place to earn their runs. We've seen it all weekend long. And Ayasami taking full advantage of a ball back of a length, picking up a maximum in the effort.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
Down the leg side from Prit Patel, another wide. So he struggled a bit in terms of preventing the extras from coming, and when you're defending a low total, you don't want to have extras add up to too much.
And you're exactly right, Matt. Can't afford to give away anything complimentary. And we've seen here Preet Patel undoing the good work that was done coming into this over. And he takes one off the badge. As again, we've seen this is the second time today we've seen a batter get hit in the upper region close to the helmet, and seemingly Not too bad for the wear and tear. It's 34 for 2. 34 for 2. We're inside, and this is 3 deliveries gone in the 6th over. So in this over so far, we've had a single, a wide +1, a 6, another wide, and then a dot.
In the air from Mukil Ayaswamy, and it's taken comfortably in the end. And Prit Patel picks up a wicket. Mukil Ayaswamy, who was looking good for the New York Gothams, has to depart.
And it may have been softened up by the delivery, the previous delivery, which took him in the helmet. And getting another short pitch delivery tested by Preet Patel, who wasn't confident that he has the technique to master that shot. Came right back with the same delivery. And this time he sends Ayasami on his way. 34 for 3.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
Out with New York Gothams at 34 for 3, needing another 9 to 5 from 86 balls.
Quite a simple equation. 95 from 86, just 6.6 needed. But the wickets are definitely a concern. 3 down, still in the power play. And wickets will definitely slow any team down. So we saw a good catch by Dhruval Dagley to dismiss Mukil Ayaswamy for 19. Jason Greaves, the captain, will have to play quite a knock here. We'll need a calm head to help pull off this chase.
Oh, gets a short pitch delivery, hits it on the up, through mid-wicket, and what a way to get off the mark. He got a poor ball to start.
Yeah, first ball from Jason Greaves, a short one, and latches onto the pull straight away. So Prit Patel has got a wicket, but other than that has not been able to keep this over tidy. Has gone for 14 and still a ball to go.
And it's not been the best over we've seen from this Washington Hawks bowling unit. Does get out of the over without any further damage inflicted. It's 14 off the over. And so that's the end of the power play. It's 38 for 3. The Washington Hawks looking to defend 128 in response. New York Gothams 38 for 3.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा. Just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3 minute breakfast. India का breakfast.
So 38 for 3, 1 over, 1 maiden, 1 wicket for Bilal Zulfikar. So he comes back looking to try to remove one of these two important batters for Gothams. And he gets a ball that should be an extra. In fact, no. In fact, now we get the confirmation that it's a wide. So that's the first run conceded by Bilal Zulfikar in 7 deliveries, call it.
So lots of ones on Zulfikar's figures now. One over, 1 maiden, 1 for 1 with the wide.
And away this one goes for a couple. The throw comes in, and perhaps just getting there just ahead of the throw. It was actually closer than thought initially, as a good throw in the end, but the batters get there ahead of the throw.
Yeah, so Waka Saktar is off the mark with a couple of runs. Greaves at the other end on 4. 88 from 83. Again, simple equation. They're now ahead of the rate here, the New York Gothams, after an expensive over from Prit Patel. As long as they keep their wickets in hand, you'd feel that the Gothams should pull this off quite easily.
Well, and it's a big if, because that's where we've seen Hawks keep themselves in contention. They keep picking up wickets at crucial moments, and they're on the hunt for more here. And you would think if Hawks are successful in removing either Jason Greaves or Wakas Akhtar or both, then they would be right smack back in the middle of this contest. And so it's a matter of, can New York Gothams put a partnership of some substance together here? So ball just steered up towards the offside. Again, the good bowling of Bilal Zulfikar continues. Has been very economical so far. Picked up the very important wicket of Dhruv Med. We've seen the other wicket taker being Prit Patel, who has bowled 3 overs, 2 for 22. And so they are the wicket takers so far for the Washington Hawks. The final match of this opening weekend of the U.S. Premier League cricket. And puts it on the turf. A ball in the air for a long time. And Wakas Akhtar offers an opportunity. And Anjum it is, was under it for a long time. And he grasses it, Matt.
Yeah, Wakas Akhtar given a life in the air for quite some time. Should have been taken. But Ali Omer Anjum floors it. Akhtar moves up to 3. Greaves on 4. We saw a good pull shot right away from Jason Greaves, the first ball. So he's come out with some intent and some bit of form, as this one is played up nicely as well for just a single.
And when you don't have a lot of runs on the board, you have to take chances like that. Was not a difficult chance by any means. Should have been gobbled up. And in the end, it's not accepted. Now the question is, can Wakas Akhtar take advantage of that gift?
Couple of times now in this over, Bilal Zulfikar has lost his run up.
And perhaps either losing focus or losing concentration, or perhaps just having the wrong run up altogether. And fast bowling requires good rhythm. And so when you're not in good rhythm, you tend to either bowl wayward or you overstep the crease a lot. And so now we see him overstepping the crease, so said, so done. And so the first free hit ball to be on offer here. And Wakas Akhtar will be the man on strike.
Took us some time to see the first no ball and now the first free hit. Wakasakta on strike, big swing and a miss. Can't doubt the intent, but just not there for Wakas. Goes through to Haider Ali.
Yeah, I do have one ball left. Yeah, we have one more ball. Tight shit. So one ball remaining here in over number 7. And ball will complete the over. And so it's 6 runs from it. It's 7 done. Gothams are 44 for 3.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast? भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So,
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे
Okay.
पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी
रखूँ.
next
हाँ
week
हाँ
के
हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी. MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
To continue the attack here for Washington Hawks, Gothams are struggling a bit here. They're going at 6 and over, but they've lost 3 wickets. And a ball hit back along the track. So, Matt, at this stage of it, do we have an even contest, or does it still favor the New York Gothams?
We've definitely got a game on our hands still. Because we're still seeing some tight bowling here. Durval Dagley has started pretty well. And wickets are still a concern for the Gothams. And you'd feel if they lose Jason Greaves, then things could really be in some bit of a dire situation here for the New York Gothams.
And just based on what we're seeing, my sense is that this New York Gothams team does not bat that deep, because the quality here in the top order doesn't look extraordinary. And so Jason Greaves, we know his quality, we know him quite well. And so you would think Washington Hawks has to have their sights set on Jason Greaves' wicket. Oh, just in front. And Wakas, in fact, Greaves going down the ground and being fortunate to not have that carry all the way.
Just landing short of Karanjit out there. You feel that Jason Greaves has got a massive, massive prize on his wicket. And if the Washington Hawks can get Greaves anytime soon, I'm sure they would start believing that they can definitely win this match.
And again, we've just to remind our viewers that we've seen already on this ground today 155 defended. So it's possible bowling unit will just have to believe and then go about with a clinical execution.
And ironically, we saw 198 chase down yesterday.
And that's the difference between what we saw yesterday and what we're seeing so far today. And so that over comes to an end. Just 2 runs coming from it. And so with 8 gone, it's New York Gothams 46 for 3.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज टीम अपडेट्स स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead
Asif Mahmood looks to be the new bowler. 46 for 3, the Gothams after 8.
And so Asif will mark off his run up. And so he comes in here again with the New York Gothams going at just 5.75 and over. And so the asking rate has now started to inch up closer to 7 and over. 83 more runs are needed from 72 balls or 12 overs. And Wakas Akhtar, the man on strike.
Asif Mahmood running in with some bit of pace, and Wakas Akhtar, all he's doing is just watching that go through to Haider Ali.
And of course, Haider Ali, I believe a man of Public Schools Athletic League fame. If it's the same Haider Ali who would have played for Prospect Heights in the Public Schools Athletic League. And has taken a brilliant catch already today as this one goes through as well for another dot. So a good start here for Asif Mahmood. And with each dot, the confidence of the Washington Hawks grow.
Yeah, for sure. Every dot pushes that run rate up a little bit. Short one and pace off from Mahmood, but this time called a wide. So again, extras totaling 7s. We've seen 6 wides and a no ball. Compare that to the Gothams. We saw them give up 7 extras in the entire innings. So the Washington Hawks already on the back foot in terms of giving away extra runs.
And oh my word, has the man skipping and jumping there is Wakas. He does get it off the square for a single, but a good genuine pace being generated here by Asif Mahmood. So we see our associate sponsor, MTR, coming up on screen. Again, I want to thank our many sponsors who have made the USPL possible, not only here in Phase 2, but we saw a good support in Phase 1 and good support behind this fantastic cricket league. Taken on the pad. Ball runs away. Might have taken an inside edge onto the pad, and we'll wait and see if there is any confirmation. No, so it's a leg by is the indication. And so if you are the Washington Hawks, you will be content with just giving away a couple here and there, and not many coming off the blade at this juncture.
Yeah, good over here from Asif Mahmood. This one turned away for a single. So Asif Mahmood certainly carrying a lot of pace. Not afraid to hit the deck.
And when you're to my mind, Matt, when you're bowling at that pace on this deck, have to try to go a bit fuller and go at the sticks at times as the 50 comes up here in over number 9. So it's taken quite a while to get there for the New York Gothams. as you see the worm chart there. And this one is pulled away. So short. And so in the end, it ends up being a good over from a New York Gotham standpoint as it comes to an end with a boundary. And so 8 runs comes off the over. After, with 9 completed, it's 54 for 3 to New York Gothams.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज टीम अपडेट्स स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो विजिट cbtfspeednews.com एंड स्टे अहेड
75 required from 11 overs. Druville Dagley continues. His first over went for 2. And has started with a dot here to Wakas. So still slow going for the New York Gothams.
And this chase will go all the way to the end. It's clear that this is going to be a nail biter. Either that or Hawks will win easily. As surprising and as improbable as that may seem. But right now we're not seeing anything that suggests that Hawks are in danger of being overrun or being dominated here by the New York Gothams, as they've been very timid in this chase.
Looking at the Manhattan, doesn't seem to resemble the Manhattan skyline as much. This one though in the air from Greaves, and that will definitely help the cause all the way for 6. And we were just making the point, not some tall skyscrapers on the Manhattan, but this 6 will definitely help.
And as Greaves go, I think so will the fortune of New York Gothams. And if you're Washington Hawks, you would have to focus your attention on picking up the wicket of Greaves, or to keep him off strike and attack the other end. Consider it as having one hole opened up. As this time Greaves going across the line, looking to paddle this one down through the onside. And it's a wide that's indicated, so that will add 1 to the tally. So 62 then, the total on the board. Still 63 balls remaining.
Greaves cut away but can't find a gap. So 8 off this over with 2 deliveries to go. Already one of the best for the New York Gothams.
And really, all that's required is one lusty blow each over. And this one is running away down towards the fine leg region. And so another, in fact, no leg by is the call. So 1 leg by added will move that total up to 63. So it's going to be tight partnership here of 29. So a partnership is building. And with that delivery, the over comes to an end. 9 runs from it. We're at the halfway point. And so it's 63 for 3. With 10 gone, New York Gothams chasing 128 needed for victory.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज टीम अपडेट्स स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो विजिट cbtfspeednews.com एंड स्टे अहेड
We'll continue, Matt. We would have seen him in games in the New York City area. He has some pace. He's a young man. And for his age, you've got to say, he bowls with some bit of fire at times. Here he is. Oh, look at that. That's more than fire. Yeah,
That's gone for 5 wides.
yeah, so hitting the deck a little too hard on that occasion, and we've seen sometimes that this pitch does have a little bit of bounce to it. Looking to bowl into the pitch, carrying heat with it. And in the end, it goes over the head of Greaves and over the head of Hyder Ali for 5 wides. That won't help. That takes the equation to 61 of 60 deliveries, so that's pretty much exactly run a ball. And it
yes,
takes the
Matt,
extras up to 15.
Yes, Matt, you would have been part of much of the phase 1. There is a part of this pitch just around the midway side that behaves a little bit badly. And I think he has really struck that part of the pitch. We saw in phase 1 a couple of balls misbehaving. But other than that, it has been a very trusted surface. Masood, Asif Mahmood runs in again. Ball with good carry to the keeper. And this is good bowling from the young man.
Jason Greaves, very versatile player. Can do it all. Good in the field, a good leader. Handy bowler and can bat anywhere in the order. We saw him in phase 1, bat in the middle as he's doing today. And we even saw him open the batting, which we thought was a rarity, but we learned is actually where he bats in local cricket. This one is
good bit of work. Good bit
away
of
for
work
one.
by the man at square leg, restricting the batsman to only a single. 69 for 3. Almost run a ball here, Matt. 60 to win from 58 balls. But I tell you something. There we go with the worm. Simply shows the dark blue, of course, is the bowling team, what they had acquired. And just a little bit behind. This one guided into the offside, and so another run here. But I was making the point, it's almost like run a ball. 59 to win from 57 balls. But how many times we've seen batters making a mess of a run a ball chase? And sometimes it's easier for the batsman to go more than run a ball to really bring them home than seemingly very simple run a ball equation, Matt. How many times you've seen that?
Yeah, we've seen that a lot of times, and it shows that the amount of twists and turns that a T20 game can take. Constantly changing with every over, with every wicket, with every 6. Things can swing from one team to another, especially in a tense game like this.
Oh, that's a good-looking shot from Jason Greaves. All the class in the world with all the ease. No man move. And that's 4 more. Take a look.
Top shot here from Jason Greaves. That's what they need. This is turning out to be a very good over for the New York Gothams, and that pushes things to less than run a ball. We saw 5 wides and now a boundary off the bat of Greaves, who's moved up to 21 of 15 deliveries. He's managed to get that boundary and over that the Gothams will need.
So over by over chart, we've seen some tall building, and we've also seen some little tents like what we're sitting on the mat, but the buildings is the one as tall as this Performing Arts Center building. So this over's gone for 11 so far. Not a good one here from Asif Mahmood. But Jason Greaves, he's up and he's batted well so far. He seems to be the man to bring the Gothams home, but still some ways to go, too early to call.
Down the leg side. And it'll be a wide from Asif Mahmood. 12 runs off this over and a ball to go to
And
Jason
Matt,
Greaves.
You wonder how cricket would have been if there was no leg side wide. You bowl on both sides. You look at the markers. You look at the line that is being required marked out, and you see you can bowl You can bowl a ball 4 feet outside the off stump, not called a wide, but you bowl a ball 2 inches down the leg side. And the umpire arms comes out. How cruel that is. So another over comes to a close. 11 overs gone. And they need 54 from 54.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So 75 for 3, 11 overs done. Runner ball 54 is required, as we see Asif Mahmood, after bowling 2 overs for 19, make his way off the field as Alex Miller comes in as a sub.
Yeah, Alex Miller comes out of the club Staten Island, plays in the Metropolitan League.
Very historical club is Staten Island.
Yeah, one of the longest running club. Carl will give us a lot more information on that. But it's one of the oldest existing club that still plays in the Metropolitan League. I know clubs out of Philadelphia. And one, of course, we're mentioning Staten Island, one of the longest running club. 150 years they've celebrated or are celebrating. And so that's a long time at.
Durville Dagley continues 2.2 overs, none for 10. He has bowled very economically.
So 54 to win from 52 balls. Still lots of cricket left in this one. This match could go any way. Waqas Akhtar, the man on strike. We've seen a good knock so far from Jason Greaves. But it's not over yet, and I sense that Jason Greaves has been out of strike for some time, and whenever he's gotten the strike, it hasn't stayed with him long enough. Will come into strike now. He's a quality player, Jason Greaves. We saw him in the first phase. Got a big innings in one of the game, Matt. And even open batting in one of the games, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, the last game he would have opened and he would have done very successfully.
These days, he tells us one of the reasons he's not playing for Atlantis, he's moved out of the area. And he lives in Philadelphia now. Oh, balled him. So the big wicket of Jason Greaves comes in the 12th over. Is 76 for 4.
Yeah, Greaves was looking to pull that one away. And keeping perhaps a little bit low on him there. So a big wicket falls. It's the skipper, Jason Greaves, who walks back for a well-played 21. Durville Dagley picks up a big wicket and has this game shifted again. 76 for 4.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
Another twist to this innings as Jason Greaves departs for 21. Durville Dagley with a big wicket as Krishna Bhatia makes his way out to the middle.
So the wicketkeeper comes out. Still 53 from 49 balls. We are in the 12th over. Dagley 1 for 11. He's been very economical, almost on the verge of completing 3 overs here. He's only given up 11. He's picked up the big wicket of Jason Greaves. And you get the feeling, Matt, that Washington Hawks could feel that they have a better chance now than they had maybe a couple of balls ago when Jason Greaves was batting pretty well. So Dagley will come in to bowl to the new batter, Bhatia, Krishna Bhatia.
.53 from 49 deliveries, 6.49 required. They're going at 6.42. But this over from Durville Dagley has been a good one. Just the one off it and the wicket of Jason Greaves, who was looking good and was getting a boundary and over, which was good enough for the Gothams, but now he's back in the shade. Wides continuing to be a problem, however, as we see another one registered here, taking extras up to 17, 14 of them wides.
By twofold. Yeah, they're trying to give back these wides at times 2. Not too sure if umpire Irfan and certainly Iyer might need all those arms exercise, Matt. 12 gone, 77 for 4.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी. MTR 3 minute breakfast, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So Bilal Zulfikar comes back into the attack, Matt. 52 to win from 48 balls. Where is your money? You don't have?
That's an impossible question to answer. I think the Washington Hawks might feel that they're ahead of this game, and with Jason Greaves back in the hut, and with the way this game is playing, who knows? Mathematically speaking, it's a Gotham's game, but if you look at the cricketing aspect of it, and if you look at how a lot of these T20 games end up in situations like this, the Washington Hawks might be the team on top. Depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah, you talk as if this is not your first rodeo. So Bilal runs it again to bowl to Waqas Akhtar. Down the leg side, more wides.
Real problem here.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen the bowling or their introduction of Prit Patel. 2 for 22 off 3.
Well, we'll have to see a sixth bowler at some point from the Gothams, given Asif is off the pitch, is off the field. This one played up straight to the fielder. So Zulfikar has done well, 2.2 overs, 1 for 9. Everybody has done fairly well, Asif Mahmood being the most expensive, 2 for 19. He's not on the field at the moment.
Yeah, I was more interested in Asif Masood's fire. Didn't realize he went for so much. A bit of an inside edge here. He goes through to the keeper, Haider Ali. Is that a signal? Oh my goodness, another signal here from umpire Irfan. Here we go, another wide.
Yeah, a problem here, continuing 19 extras, and if the Washington Hawks lose this game, they'll have themselves to blame for it. Because they've got the Gothams in a precarious situation, but they're causing their own problems in the field. I mean, not entirely in the field, but with the deliveries that they're bowling. Very wayward. 16 wides and a no ball.
Yes, Matt, you're right on that. In some professional unit, bowling one wide is enough. Coaches will get you working that you don't bowl that one wide or one no ball ever again. We've seen at the international level, some bowlers have lost their place because of a single no ball that they've bowled in a match. So Bilal Zulfikar and Matt, let's take a look at who has been the main culprit in giving up so many wides. We'll ask Carl to help us with that. Carl works as our statistician at the moment. Which bowler has been responsible for so many wides?
I've got it here. It's Asif Mahmood, who has bowled seven wides. Yep. Yeah, 4 to Prit Patel, 3 wides and a no ball from Zulfikar, the man bowling at the moment, and 2 from Dagley. Zulfikar has 3 deliveries left in this over. It's gone for 5. Krishna Bhatia is on strike. And I think Krishna Bhatia has got to play perhaps a Jason Greaves type of innings here, because you've got Waka Sakta, who's 13 of 25, is going about things very slowly at the other end, but has done well to preserve his wicket. So you don't want 2 batsmen going in, both playing slow at this stage of the game, because 40-10 from 44 is still a losable position, especially if both batsmen are batting very slow. So I'm thinking Waka Sakta, who seems to be carrying on his business, just holding up the other end on 13 of 25. I think Krishna Bhatia's goal is to perhaps be the one that's going to score and score quickly.
Yeah, ball played into the onside as Hawks and Gothams locked in a battle here. It was not too long ago. It was probably just about run a ball, but that has been aided by so many extras, 19 so far. And in the shorter version of the game, every run counts, so certainly giving away freebies. And those wides, many of them had to be rebowled, so we're into overtime, so to speak, here. That's a good-looking shot. We'll only get one. And that one will complete over number 13. So 13 gone, 45 to win for 42. So Dagley will continue, 45 to win from 42. Asking 6.4, they're going at 6.4, right on top. Will come into bowl to Wakas, who's been there for some time. He has faced 26. And so now it comes down to tip and run. Alex Miller comes in with a good throw. Batsman running for all it's worth. In the end, single.
Quick single taken. They'll have to keep the runs coming here. 44 from 41. Still, again, a position in which they can lose this game. They've still got to bat sensible here. Do Krishna and Wakas. Equation is quite simple. Although the New York Gothams have not exactly made it look as simple as it is. Waka Sakta 15 of 27 with Krishna 1 of 3. This one is driven up for another single. Druville Dagley, 3.2 overs, 1 for 14, has bowled very well.
And Matt, what we've seen a couple of singles off the over. That is exactly what is needed here. And both Wakas and Krishna Bhatia will just have to make sure they can rotate the strike 5-6 runs and over. Not like that. And the bowling side will have to make sure that they don't fall into the bad habit of giving up extras. The extras have tallied 19 so far. Not too sure if they will be happy with that with that number. But it has been the reality of what has happened here. So change in personnel. They've exchanged fielders. Man from point becomes mid-off. Long off becomes point. Alex Miller at short cover. Here we go, Dagley. Oh, forward defensive, very gentle. Ball goes back to the bowler. There is no run.
And still.
Yeah, that's one of the way Mankading has been moved to the run-out section of the laws. So one of the ways you can get out with nobody questioning whether you play in the spirit of the game or whether. A big appeal is being given out. So that's the end of Wakas Akhtar. 86 for 5.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of intent from Wakas Akhtar throughout. 14 of 29 deliveries, and again you could see he was just looking to just poke at the ball on that occasion. Didn't get it, and in the end another wicket goes down. Druville Dagley picks up a second, and it's the 5th one down for the New York Gothams.
And Matt, and looking from the replay, I thought that even if the umpire had said no, Wakas might have been run out. He was all the way down the pitch. The keeper had the ball already in hand. So I want to think if umpire Iyer had said no, he would have been run out. So another wicket goes down. 86 for 5, and so 43 from 37. New batter comes to the middle.
Yes, Patel. Comes in at 7.43 from 37 required. 6.9 inching closer to 7.
And the
Washington
comes out of
Hawks.
the huddle there with a big shout of Hawks.
Washington Hawks not going down here without a fight. They might not even be going down at all. Who knows? They could emerge victorious here. It's been a very spirited effort here in this fight back. And the New York Gothams in some bit of trouble.
So Yas Patel comes to the middle. Still needing 43. New batter at the crease. The ball driven up to the fielder, short cover. Alex Miller, the substitute. He is coming for Asif Mahmood. And so that completes 14. And after 14 is 86 for 5.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज टीम अपडेट्स स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead
So welcome back to the picturesque Purchase Ground. In the background, some tall trees. We've seen batsmen striking those trees several times in both phases of this tournament. We haven't seen much for a while, and it all comes down to 43 from 36 balls. Bazid Siddiqui, the captain, comes back for his second bowling spell. 2 overs, no made, none for 16 earlier on. And he comes in here, Matt, towards the home stretch.
Yeah, the New York Gothams with 5 down. 43 from 36 with an asking rate of over 7 required with 2 relatively new men at the crease. They find themselves in quite some bit of trouble. As you see a sharp single there taken. Gothams may need the help of Batman himself to help them out of this situation.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the city, Gotham City, and brings the Cape Man. And Matt, we're seeing Alex Miller. How many times have we seen a substitute goes onto the field and so much work for him?
I've got that experience.
Like he's a ball magnet wherever he is. Alex Miller, I've seen in the last 6 balls or so, Carl, he has fielded 3 balls, more than any other fielder.
Yeah, I've got that experience as well. I was a sub fielder once in the Millennium, and for some reason the ball wouldn't leave me alone. Luckily for me, I was up to the task and did pretty well. And so far, Alex Miller has handled his job quite well. 42 from 34. Good start from Bazid Siddiqui. Yash Patel on strike.
Alex Miller. He passes Alex Miller this time. And that's a good-looking shot. Surprised they haven't challenged for a couple of runs. We've seen good running throughout the course of today's play. And once the ball is played into the deep areas, Matt, you've got to run quickly and look for 2.
Yeah, 41 from 33. There's just doesn't seem to be any sense of urgency or any sense of attacking intent here from the Gothams. It seems as though they're still quite intent on getting these 1 and 2s. But it's slowly coming to the point where that won't help them.
Matt, the fact is they're very contented with their singles because of this. Another wide. They've been helped. They know every over they'll get 1 or 2. They'll get one of the umpires to have their arms extended.
But
so that has really helped the cause.
Begs
Extras
the question,
goes up to
do
20.
you really want your fate to lie in the hands of the opposition? We see a dot ball from Bazid Siddiqui. 3 off this with 2 deliveries to go. 40 from 32. 7.5 now required. The run rate keeps going up.
So we'll have to pick up when last we have had a boundary, I know.
The 11th over
Yeah,
off
it's
the
been a
bat of
while.
Jason Greaves.
So trying to break free. Krishna Bhatia can't. And this has been a very good over, barring one of the wides. 3 runs in this over so far from the captain Bazid. Yeah, lovely sight. It looks like a painting in the background. They tell us that's the simplest paint to do, those trees and those bark. And this one in the air. Has he given someone a chance? Yes, I think he has. Well accepted by the man, a deep square leg. And so another wicket goes down. It's 89 for 6.
Yeah, now they're starting to try and attack, but it hasn't gone well. Krishna Bhatia falls in the air for quite some time, and in the end the fielder takes a well-judged catch. 6 down for 89 at the end of 15.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
Back, Carl. 40 to win from 30 balls. Washington Hawks, they're fighting for their 128 that they've posted so far. 40 runs to play with.
Yes, Len, and I'm going to call it now. I think this one is done and dusted. Washington Hawks in the driver's seat from my standpoint. 6 wickets down. Not much more batting left in the New York Gotham's tent. And so now it's just a matter of the Hawks pressing home their advantage. It's 89 for 6, 15 overs completed. And so 40 needed from 30 balls. Asking rate is 8 and over. And not much depth in batting remaining in the New York Gotham's hut.
Yeah, it would have been ideal for the Gotham to seize the opportunity with so many extras as Bilal Zulfikar, ball punched into the offside, can't score. Ramtahal comes to the middle.
And this one not going well. This chase not going well for New York Gothams. They had every opportunity to go ahead. I mean, the ask was essentially run a ball, land in fact less than run a ball at one point. And Hawks have managed to turn things around. And so now they've gained the upper hand.
And Carl, with all fairness to the lower order here, I think they have been left with some task. We saw perhaps not great application from a couple of the earlier batters, and they're seemingly in a position of 40 to win from 28 ball. This one sliding down the leg side again.
And also, Len, they didn't seem to have much purpose, much intent as to how they were going to go about their run chase. Batters just went out there listlessly and just seeming to get bat on ball, but with no intent. Are we going to go at 5 and over? Are we going to try to get a boundary each over? Are we? Is somebody going to put their hand up to shepherd the innings?
So lofted into the onside. Ryan Tahal. Good effort from that man. Wasn't able to hold on a single run.
And here it is, ball in the air. It was running a long way. Shoestringer in the end. And here you see him just going through the hands at the very end. And so it allows Ram Tahal to get off the mark.
So ball played into the offside. Alex Miller, the substitute, fields another ball.
A slow boat going nowhere. And so 25 balls remaining. And this one is hit well up into the offside. And the fielder struggles to get hand to it in the deep, but the batter does come back for a second, and they complete it successfully. The over comes to an end, but only 3 runs from it, so not even enough to get to the asking rate. And so New York Gothams fall even further behind with 4 overs remaining. 92 for 6. So CBTF, the fastest cricket news website, as new bowler being brought back here into the attack, as Ali Umair Anjun comes back into the attack. His first, in fact, he's been introduced for the first time here with the equation requiring 37 from 24. That's an asking rate, as you can see on screen, of 9.25. 9.25 the ask. And so with 4 wickets in hand, advantage Washington Hawks.
So Ram Tahal gets an outside edge as Anjum starts over number 17, 36 from 23.
And this one, as much as we thought 128 was not enough early on, the approach to this chase has been so pedestrian that Hawks may end up winning quite comfortably, as this one is played up into the deep for another single. And so singles cannot hurt the Hawks' effort. Even if they give away 6 singles each over, they will get home ahead of the ask, because now the asking rate has grown closer to 10 and over. And as we take a look at the action there, Len, of Ali Anjum, seems a little suspect. Yeah, Ali Omer Anjum may get the a referral, perhaps. As they press for one, they're coming back for the second. Nowhere close. And he misses from point blank range. So, again, Washington Hawks have done everything to give this match back to the New York Gothams. And what should have been an easy run out, opportunity missed.
So a couple of bats have come out here for Ryan Ramtahal. And sometimes, Carl, sometimes when the long handle comes out, it not necessarily mean you want to play some big shot. It's longer reach when you run. It's a couple of inches more to get in the crease. But we'll never know. We'll find out.
Len, he was being implored to bat with all 3. As sometimes you just swing them all and see which ones make contact. More surface area to contact the ball. They need to get some of these balls off the square. In fact, over the boundary or beyond.
Yes, Carl, we've seen how many bats the players walk to the ground with. We'll talk about that when we come back. 17 gone, 98 for 6, 31 to win from 18 balls.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So 98 for 6, as you can see. 3 overs remain. And it's the captain, Bazid Siddiqui, who has come back. 3 overs, 1 for 19. And this is another wicket that goes here. So he is nicked one. And so Yas Patel has been nicked off. And so wicket number 7 falls. It's 98 for 7 as you see him swinging wildly across the line of the delivery there. Head in the air. And had no chance to get that one off the square. And so now Washington Hawks firmly in control here. 98 for 7.
Looks like Juggernaut.
So Anthony Jaggernaut, the man who got the forfeit when Gotham's bowled, he comes back out to the middle, and if he should get them home from here, would certainly cement perhaps one of his better days playing cricket, as they need another 31 from 17 balls, or 2.5 overs, as you can see on screen. And so big ask here of young Anthony Jaggernaut. And again, another wide. In fact, no ball. In fact, the call is called back and a no ball is signaled here. So no ball called. As I think the fielder starts from outside the field of play and then steps in when the ball is running in. I believe that's the infraction that's being called, and it's been called by the match referee, third umpire, if you will. And so it's a no ball, and so it will be a free hit here. So the fielder starts on the outside of the ground and then steps in, which obviously is an infraction. And so we continue to see, Len, on these free hit deliveries, the bowler comes up with their best ball usually. And so said, so done. And as a dot registered in the books on the free hit.
Yes, Carl, as single is out towards the onside, and we're making the point on at some point that there's so many other ways in the last, I would say in the last 5 or 7 years in which you can bowl a no ball, that being one of them. In probably 25, 30 years ago, we were more concerned about your front foot no ball more than anything else. But we've seen the tweak to playing conditions in many T20 tournaments around the world has really made it necessary. So many infractions of bowling a no ball. We have just seen one of the rare ones.
And that is one of the most rare that I've seen for sure. And we've seen field restriction no balls where more than the allotment of fielders are outside or inside the circle at any particular time. We've also seen situations where the ball bounces twice before it gets to the batter, or more than once, let's say, before it gets to the batter. We've seen scenarios where, at least in American cricket, where the batter is where the ball goes off the matting. That's also one scenario where if it goes completely off, it's not a wide anymore. They generally will call that. And so there, to your point, Len, there are several scenarios where a no ball infraction can occur. And again, that one was one of the rare ones for sure.
So ball edged into the onside of the bat of Jaggernaut. And that will complete over number 18. So 12 balls remaining. They need 27 to win.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Ali Umair will come into the attack. Last throw of the dice. 12 balls remaining, 27 to win. Anthony Jaggernaut, 4 wickets in the game so far. But he comes out here needing a very good batting display to pull the Gothams over the line.
And after each delivery line, the task looks even that much more impossible or improbable. And the title sponsor, Len, will be happy with this outcome if, in fact, Washington Hawks are able to get over the line. I'm told that the owners of the Washington Hawks are the title sponsor, CBTF, and so they would be happy with the outcome here, as they would see the Hawks off to a winning start. And Ram Tahal can't score, and so Hawks firmly cementing their control over this outcome. Down the leg side, and despite the numbers of extras that have been given, and now extras are up to 22, wides totaling 18, and the 22 extras are the highest individual score on the scorecard. So that tells you everything you need to know. That Hawks did try to give this one back. Another single up to long off to Ram Tahal. So 8 balls, 24 runs to get.
Yes, Carl, and the way Gothams have gone about their innings so far, it's 105 for 7, as you can see. And a big swing and a miss here from Anthony Jaggernaut goes nowhere. 128. Now it's beginning to look like the bowler hasn't really bowled well, because we're still trailing by 24. And essentially you might be asking the bowler next time, try to bowl them out for maybe 110, 113.
And then if you think about it, had those 22 runs in extras not been on the board, Gothams would be woefully out of contention here.
Well, this is a big shot from Anthony Jaggernaut. He's had a good day, but he goes straight into the hands of the fielder at long off. And 105 for 8.
And the catch well taken in the deep by Juvil Dagley, coming around and making it look easy. And well judged, well taken up high. And so Jaggernaut goes 105 for 8.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे ट्रीट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ हाँ हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी. MTR 3 minute breakfast, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So 105 for 8. Paran Patel has come to the middle. Batsman would have crossed. And so Ryan Ramtahal will be the man on strike. It looks like Preet Patel has been given the ball. So we'll come into bowl to Ryan Ramtahal. 24 in this last over.
And so wide number 19. And my word, we have seen.
So Preet Patel.
Preet Patel comes back to finish. 3 overs, 2 for 22. And so he starts with a wide. And so they're coming back for the second. Throw is missed. And so 2 to Ramtahal. That won't help the situation much. 21 now needed from 5 balls.
So the action continues on Saturday morning. Mavericks will take on the Gothams. And the afternoon game will see the Sharks taking on Cavaliers.
And so the highest scoring Mavericks will be back in action next week against Gothams, who would have lost one here. This one is up and over. A little bit too late here from Ryan Ramtahal. He goes upstairs for a maximum. and he will need a few more of those. If he hits 3 more, we could have ourselves a contest.
Yeah, big strike from Ryan Ramtahal. This game is not over yet.
Oh, this game has long been over, Len. Even if he hits 2 more here, I still say game is done and dusted in favor of Washington Hawks.
So another 6 struck here. You never know, Carl. You never know. I'm pretty sure this is not out of the ordinary here. We've seen exciting cricket in this.
The thing about it, Len, is if you swing that bat often enough, you're going to connect on one. The question is it just a keen man's shot, or is that a proper cricketing shot where you get behind, line this thing up, and hit it out of the ground? If that were the case, I would say, yes, you have a chance here. But in my view, this game has long been over. So equation now reduced to 15 needed from 3.
Yeah, earlier on I asked Mato where is his money. He told me he's broke. That's one, and then I know that was not his first rodeo.
And this one is another dot here. So the restriction, the equation now does come down to 2 needed, to 2 deliveries remaining. 15 runs are needed. So mathematically, as long as legal deliveries are bowled here, this one is over for all intents and purposes. Ball hit down the ground, and the batters are going for a single. And in the end, another missed opportunity for a run out. And so a single taken by Ramtahal. 1 ball to go here. And so Hawks will emerge victorious. The final ball of opening weekend of the U.S. Premier League. And so Washington Hawks will complete their victory here in this match number 4. And so you would have seen victories then from the New Jersey Titans, Maryland Mavericks, Pennsylvania Cavaliers, and now the Washington Hawks have completed a clinical defense of just 128, winning by 13 runs. So on behalf of Matthew Achaibar, Lenny Achaibar, Carl Bennett, and so we'll see you back here next week when this phase 2 will resume. And you'll see, that's when you'll see us back here. But before that, there are some post-match formalities to be completed. And so we'll pause here. This is the last you'll hear from the commentary team. But on the other side of the break, you'll hear from a few of the match performers. And so we'll resume back here next week for round 2.
Welcome to the post-match presentation of the CBTF USPL Phase 2. I would like to thank our title sponsor CBTF Speed News and our associate sponsor MTR. I have with me Sandeep Singh, the founder of USPL. You know, so the first weekend has concluded. I mean, what a finish we had right now. You know, with a low total, the team being able to defend it. So far, a great weekend, and it's just going to get better.
Yeah, the weekend was great. The weather was excellent. I think everybody loved it. All 4 games was amazing. The first 2 was really good. There were 2 centuries in it, high-scoring games. Today, obviously, I think the pitch was settling in, so these were low-scoring games. But still, the teams did amazing. And congratulations to Hawks team for winning the 4th game.
Absolutely. I mean, what a performance from the Washington Hawks. I mean, you know, speaking to them in the first innings and the comeback they made with the second innings, I would like to call the man of the match Surnam Patel for his knock of 69 off of 31. Sarnam, we spoke a little bit, you know, in the mid-innings about the knock, but I mean, going out there with the, you know, the team had with the bowling, giving that performance, I think it was just exceptional.
Yes, I think everyone did well. Actually, our bowlers bowled according to our plan, and it worked out for us.
And because you were one of the only batsmen to really stand out there, what's going to be the talk to the rest of the team, in terms of coming and playing? Obviously, more matches to go. First win in the phase two.
I think players need to step up, and we will have a talk about that. Everyone just come there, play some balls, get your eye in, and then go for it, rather than just coming in and going for big shots at the beginning.
Well, congratulations, Suriname, and well batted. Next, I would like to call the winning skip of the Washington Hawks, Baizid Siddiqui. Baizid, what a game. What a game. We truly enjoyed it. I think, the way Suriname was able to get you guys to a respectable total, if we would have looked at that total, obviously, it was below par. But I think the way, the bowlers really performed and, got those wickets, tried to bowl, with the line and length, and especially you coming out in the end as well, helping the team.
Yeah, remember I was telling you before the game that putting a target, telling you a number would be really hard here, because team can score 200, a team can get out for 120, 130 runs. Since we had a low score, our bowler kind of stepped up, especially in the middle over. I thought Dhrubil and Bilal did an amazing job bringing us in. That 6 to 8 over, I thought the momentum shifted to our side. Great job by the bowlers.
Yeah, but keeping the bowling in mind, the bowlers you mentioned, did exceptional, but we also have to consider the 23 extras, right? So what is going to be the talk for the bowlers? Because if we didn't have that many runs, obviously the game would have been done much earlier.
Yes, true. We did talk about it. The 23 extras is a lot. If you think about it, then they would have been less than 100 runs. We definitely gonna work on it. We're gonna practice a little bit more, obviously twice a week, hopefully, and we'll try our best to do less, give less extras in the next match.
Well, starting off with a win always helps in a tournament. So all the best for the rest.
Thank you very much.